When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents Yard and Broad and the end.
Good evening, we're listening, watching from around the world. Are you hearing me clearly? Good afternoon, good evening. You hear me clearly? ABR News. Good. Good evening. One moment for me, my dear. Good evening. Welcome to the program this afternoon. It is now 6:10 in the United States, 510 in Kingston City, Jamaica. We're listening, watching from around the world on the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. As I promised you today, that my good friend, ABR News, is on with us. Welcome to the program.
Blessings, everyone. Blessings, Jeffrey. Blessings to the chat. Blessings to your audience.
Well, today we're talking about the little baby that was raped and murdered. We're going to talk some more about that, but I have a line, a guest, a lady whose son is in need of help, of a brain surgery, going to cost $1 million. And the Jamaican government can help. They waste enough money on Correctional Hospital, and I'm pretty much sure they can help her. Good afternoon to you, man. Welcome to the program. What's going on here? Go ahead for me. Hello, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome to the program. You hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
All right. Can you tell us who you are, your name and everything, please?
I'm Melissa Blake. I'm T. Quinn's foster mother, the 4-year-old that is in need of a emergency brain surgery.
Tell us some more. What happened? Why does he need a surgery? Tell us what really happened.
Okay, at first, let me start from the beginning. Okay. I was at work Tuesday when I got a call from the teacher stating that he's crying for severe headaches and belly pain. He was vomiting also. I know I sent him to school without any pain or anything, but upon going to the school, I recognized that his head was leaned to the left. He was actually have to look on through the right eye to see where he was going. And I bring him home. I give him some medication for the pain. But then I went to Bustamante's hospital and they told me that I wasn't seeing anything. But because I know how my child was, I know that something is really wrong. So I went to a private doctor. I got a referral to do a CT scan. I went and do it. Upon doing that, I recognized that they said that he has a lot of fluid in his brain. Well, he did a first surgery to control the fluid in his brain because he has intuitions. And he need a next surgery. It's an emergency because they said he has a tumor also, and it is a very big one. So emergency surgery, and it's cost over $1 million at the University Hospital in Kingston.
So tell me something. Have you gotten any help from anybody in Jamaica yet?
No, not as yet. Because I recognized all of that over the weekend. Okay. Because it was at Bustamante where they gave me a referral to go to University Hospital, and I went there on Friday. So that's when I know all of that and the amount.
And is your son okay? Based on what you're hearing now from the doctors and everything like that, you are in need of help, and there is a GoFundMe that's open for your son, eh?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hold on for me. Do you have the GoFundMe there with you? Can tell us how we can go ahead and help you?
Yes, I can give you the app. It's https:/realhelpinghands.com/campaign for equines need you urgent brain surgery.
Okay. And do you have anything else?
So the persons can go on it and just press on donate. And I also have an NCB account. It's in Jamaica. It's in a Jamaica branch. And the account number is 854-359037. Yes.
And the doctors are saying to you now that they need an emergency brain surgery to take the water out of his brain, you said?
No, to take out the tumor. Because the control, he has intuitions to get the fluid from the brain.
So tell me, how did this happen to your son? What really happened? Did he born with the brain tumor?
But what the doctors are saying, they didn't tell me what really caused that. But he got a call at school because his classmates, them were telling him to do boom flick. He refused to do it, so they push him over on the concrete. So while doing that, he hit his head, and from there he was crying for severe belly pain and headaches and vomiting. Although he was vomiting before, so upon the hit that he got, that's how I know something really going on. It was more than the fluid that is in the brain.
So have the doctor said, okay, is because he got the fall while that happened, or is it something else?
No, they did not say. Only thing one of the doctors told me it could be from in the womb or it could be from a tender age growing up because it's very big.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, people, as you look up on the platform here, you can see her NCB account number, and it's a Christiana branch, 854-359-037, the savings account, and also the GoFundMe. What's the GoFundMe again? Real Helping Hands. Yeah, realhelpinghands.com. Yes. So they can go ahead, sorry. Go ahead and talk to us. Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
/campaign T Queens needs you urgent brain surgery. That's the GoFundMe.
Was your son? How old is your son?
He's 4 years old.
He's 4 years old. Oh Lord, he's very young.
Yes.
He's very young. My.
Yes,
wow. He's very young. Wow. And the doctors right now, the only thing that they need now is the money. All right. Do you know that the government has a compassionate grant that can help you with? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I was told today.
Okay.
But I was trying to call Ministry of Health, but the line is just ringing and hanging up, so I wasn't getting through.
Where do you live, may I ask?
I'm living in Portmore, St. Catherine.
What I would advise you to do, my dear, don't call down there. Go down there. Figure out a way. Oh, but you have to stay with your son, Lord.
Yeah, because I can work for over 3 months now. I have to stay home with him.
Is that him in the background there?
Yes, he is.
Oh Lord. And there's no other family members who we can stay stay with you. You can go down there and see what you can do to help, to get some help.
If I get the address, I will go. I can bring him. I can take him with me because it's just 2 of us. His father have to be working.
Okay. What I will do for you, I will get the address and give to you. But I have a friend of mine online here. I don't know if you have any question you can ask. You want to ask her, my good friend?
No, not right now, but I lend my, sympathy with you in this, and whatever I can do, I'm willing to share out the GoFundMe as well. So I'd like to get the GoFundMe.
Yeah, I will send it to you because I have the link.
Okay, cool.
To you also. So anyone in the chat room who can assist this lady here, her son, I wish I had a picture of her son. Her son is in need of emergency surgery. He has a brain tumor. This is her NCB account, and also she has a GoFundMe page. I make the GoFundMe and put it up also. She can also tell you about the GoFundMe. Tell us about the GoFundMe, my dear.
Yeah, the GoFundMe. You just click on the link and then go to donate. Yeah, and from there, just follow the instructions.
There you go. So see what we can do to assist this lady here, because she is in need of help. And believe you me, it is not easy to have your child sick and there is no help there. I pray and hope you get through with some help, my dear. I hope and pray that people here within the diaspora can assist you.
Okay.
You know? Is there anything
Okay, I
else,
would be grateful.
anything else you want to say before you go?
Yes, I would be grateful for the helps, and I also need some prayers. So all the persons that can pray, let us just pray for T Queen Foster. That even through the surgery, everything would be okay.
All right, Miss Melissa, thank you for coming on, my dear, and I'll keep in contact with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so
And I
much.
also sent the pictures on your WhatsApp.
You did?
Yes, I did.
Okay, let me hold on there for me. Let me see if I can get it up before you go. Oh, here it is. Yes. A handsome little fellow. Hold on there for me. Let me get it and send it to my email. Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Okay, hold on there now. Let me send it to my email. And okay. Hold on there for me, my dear. He's a
Okay.
handsome little man.
Yes, he is.
Hold on there for me. Let me get it up here. And everyone can get to see it. We're listening, watching from around the world on the Eastern Caribbean. This Melissa her son is in need of an emergency brain surgery, and we're asking for help. Anyone out there who can assist, please do so. We're asking for help for her and her son. Here it is. Let me download this right here, and then go back to this. One moment for me, please, everyone. One moment, please. Okay. Here. I'm going to hear it. Just a moment here, please. I have to maneuver everything here by myself. I'm using my wife's computer, so going to bear with me. I don't know if this thing going to come up. Uh-oh, it's telling me error. It's telling me error. Lordy, 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 Lordy. One moment, please. Okay. I'm gonna find it and put it up, but right now I cannot find anything that I send it to. Because normally my computer would have done it better, but what's going on here? I don't know. Lordy. Okay, so tell us tell us about the GoFundMe page once more, and also your NCB account number. I will put up this as soon as I can get this thing up here to go. Go ahead for me, my dear. Tell us again, please, before you go.
Okay, the GoFundMe link is https:/realfinance.com/campaigns T Queen needs you urgent brain surgery. And my account number is at NCB, and the account number is 854-359-037. And the saving account.
Okay, and it's a Christian branch.
Yeah, Christian branch.
Okay, the Christian branch. All right, my dear. Thank you for coming on. I'll keep in contact with you, and I'll figure out a way to put up this picture again on this thing here. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy your rest of your day.
Same to you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks to everyone. All right.
You're welcome. There you have it. Anyone who can assist, please do, because she is in need of help with her son. Please assist. Believe you me, I want to put up this picture. If you see this handsome little young man, ABR, if you see this handsome little young man here, my, I'm trying to put up the thing here, but it won't allow
it's not
me.
going up.
No, it won't. I don't know what's going on because I'm not using my computer. The camera on my thing not working. Anyway, we're going to go back into a discussion that we had today. Your views on this young baby, 9-year-old, that was brutally raped and then murdered. Your views on that?
Wow. Where do I begin? As I'm not only speaking on the fact that I'm a mother of a 7-year-old little girl, but I'm speaking on the fact that I'm a woman, a village. It takes a village to raise a child. And to see a 9-year-old little girl go through such horror. It's alleged that she was beaten by this suspect, this alleged suspect.
Mm-hmm.
It alleged that she was SA, and I'm sure everyone understands what I'm saying there.
Yes.
And then in turn, murdered. My take on that, I am hurt. I am saddened. I am broken. There's so much other adjectives to describe how I'm feeling, but the words just cannot come. Too often time, there's been so many little girls that have been sexually assaulted, that have been murdered. We know of the Ananda Dean, we know of many other little girls, and those crimes have gone unsolved. Nobody to this date have been held to account for that. And I am here to ask, when is enough really enough? We don't need to wait on a human rights group to come out as citizens. We are the ones in the communities who are seeing the things happening in our eyes, happening before us, happening to our children. And we don't need to wait for a human rights group to come out, as I stated on a video that I just uploaded, for us to come in unity and stand as advocates, stand as protectors for our children. We don't want to wait until it reaches our doorstep before we can come out and stand with another mother who is going through such ordeal. To know that is not people that are far away from our children, or people who our children don't know, are people who are close to them, are people who are close to us as parents. And it's time that we as parents be vigilant. It's time that the community be vigilant and stand up and protect our children. It's time that the powers that be stand up and not only make the laws for us, but for all. Oftentimes we see in the law working out for just a handful of people. But we know that the wider Jamaicans have no faith in the justice system. And when we have gimmickry in our parliament, when we have the powers that be, when we have politicians who are set there who was elected by the people to serve the people, come in our parliament with gimmickry, what are they waiting on to release the sex offenders registry? We need to know who are amongst us. We need to know who is living beside us. We need to know who are associating with us. We need to know who are associating with our children. And I just cannot fathom what that little girl has gone through. I cannot really come and explain what she has gone through. Can you imagine a big grown hardback man beating a 9-year-old little girl? And when we look in our parliament, we see a lot of women and the government saying that they stand with women. But do they really? I've never seen a woman, member of parliament from the government side, go out and stand with a mother who has lost her child or who has lost their children innocently.
One moment. Let's continue talking to me. Go ahead. Continue talking.
Okay. Right? I've never seen, as much as though they say that their government promotes and supports women, I've never seen them come out and stand with a mother. And I have to always give my utmost respect to a Queen Ifrica I see her out there. I see her advocating. I see her standing up. I see her speaking her message amongst other social media warriors. Sometimes I don't even like to use the word bloggers. Other social media warriors who are
Yes,
fighting for the cause or standing up for truth and rights and justice. I have to also give it to a partner draw TV, Andre Stevens,
indeed. One moment for me,
and
please. I
many
have to.
others.
Yes, sorry for me. One more, please. I have
Go
online with
ahead.
me none other than Conrad O'Brien. Conrad, welcome to the program. One moment, Conrad. All right. One moment, Conrad. One moment. Hold on for me. Sorry. No, Conrad, welcome to the program.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Lord. Yes, go ahead. Oh, Lordy. Hold on for me, Conrad. Yes, go ahead, no, Conrad. Sorry about that. Go ahead. I don't know what's going on here, Conrad. This thing not working. Hold on, Conrad. Don't move. Yes, I'm hearing you too, but the listener's not hearing you clearly. Hold on for me. All right. Conrad? Yes. Conrad? Hello? Oh, Lord. I don't know what's going on. This thing not... Conrad, don't move. Don't move at all. Just a moment here. Oh, Jesus. Just a moment, please, everyone. All right, Conrad, go ahead now, please. It's going in and out. I don't know what's going on here. Hello? Yeah, let me figure out something. Let me hang up and then we connect with you. Yeah, we're trying to get a hold of Conrad O'Brien as he called into the program here. The phone line worked fine a while ago with the young lady. Now it's not working. I don't know what's going on with it, but let's try and figure out something here. You can get back Conrad O'Brien. Just a moment. We're trying to get a hold of Conrad. My good friend, can you just continue talking for me? Do this, please.
Yes, and as I was saying, I sometimes don't understand what is it really that we elect these, politicians and members of parliament to really do. When we see these things happening one too many times, it gets very overwhelming. And I'm going to make reference to videos or incident that happened in even Guyana. We seen the people there came together and they took to the streets. You people don't need a social media warrior. You don't need a blogger to come out to tell you to say you have to take to the streets and stand in unity.
Yes.
You don't have to want to do that off of your own.
Yes.
These things.
Sorry, when we come back to that. Conrad is online now. Conrad O'Brien, go ahead for me.
Hi, Jeffrey. Good afternoon again to yourself and your listeners. Are you hearing me clearly now?
Yes, and I also have a fellow blogger online here with me, ABR News TV.
All right. Hi.
Hello.
What's is she? She's the one who did the piece the other day, Jeffrey. Is that the same blogger?
The same blogger who did the piece with when Idiot Amin was on the thing with us.
Okay. Hi. How you doing?
Hello, Obi.
Just remind me of the name, please.
It's ABR News TV.
ABR
Yes.
News TV, yes.
Indeed, it's a pleasure, and I'm hoping that you would have captured that interview that I did today, and which Jeffrey followed up on this evening with the young boy. I forgot his name just now. Cashway. Anyhow, I forgot the name just now, but certainly the young boy, 4 years old, the little baby. And it really pained my heart. So over the weekend, I was reached out to, and I said, "Listen, you know what? I have to carry this. I have to carry this morning." Could somebody mute Jeffrey? I'm getting back that coming back at me. Could someone mute? I don't know if that's.
I know it's coming from your end.
No, I'm actually in my car by myself and I have nothing on. All right, let me pull up. Hold on, let me just pull up for a bit so I can stop and talk to you for a moment. All right, so as I was saying to you, Jeffrey, that what happened, and listeners, the information reached me over the weekend, and it really tugged at my heartstring when the mother, Melissa, reached out and just explain what she's going through. Her son had recently did an operation at the Kingston Public Hospital. I think it said that particular episode cost her something like almost a little bit over $250,000 or something like that. And then, on the heel of that now, there is a revelation that she is now need to do a brain surgery, and at this should be done at the University of the West Indies Hospital, and it's over $1 million to do it. And Jeffrey, one wonders, and this is why I said that it doesn't matter which of the parties sit in government. These things has to be fixed, Jeffrey. And you called in today, Jeffrey, and you're weighing, and I could hear it. I could hear it in your voice, your concern. And hence you reach out to interview the mother this evening so that, you could see what you can do in order to assist with her GoFundMe. Because no child, Jeffrey, no child, well, no human being in Jamaica, let alone a child, a 4-year-old child, should be wanting of a surgery. A critical surgery as a brain surgery. And because their lack of money, the child could be dead. Or certainly that problem could stay there and exacerbate and cause further damage to the young baby.
Yes.
And it is indeed, Jeffrey, if we who are privileged enough to at least be able to speak don't take on these things on, Jeffrey, then certainly Jamaica is doomed. I made reference today of a friend of mine who live in Canada. She's a citizen of Jamaican Jamaican, right? Citizen there. And she did a surgery recently. Jeffrey, she didn't have to worry. The hospital is like a palace, right? Everything was there, free of cost, ready for her as an adult. And here we are in Jamaica having a mother who literally have been in some case one could say literally embarrassing herself because begging all over the place a form of embarrassment.
You know something, to Conrad? I am listening to her because she just came on and I'm listening to her. And ABR TV can tell you the lady doesn't want to beg anybody anything. You can hear it in her voice. She wishes that she doesn't come on and beg anybody anything. And
there you go.
That is to show you billions and billions of dollars is being wasted at the Conrad Hospital. And they can't take $1 million out of that to give to the lady to help her child.
Other thing, Jeffrey, let's not forget that recently Senator Brown first raised it on my program and elsewhere. Right, we did an exclusive there. A drill that ordinarily should cost like about $10 million. The ministry went out and purchased that for $31 million, I think. And when you look at those things, the waste, the pilferage, the thieving, even that taking place, and our babies, our out there struggling. The mother said, listen, sometimes she can't sleep at night because the poor thing wake up and is tormented. Huh? Jeffrey, I am hurting. I am hurting at the core. And we must get rid of these things in the country. And that is why I said on radio today, that notice is being served to Mark Jefferson Golden and the People's National Party from all accounts. I'm seeing where the people will be giving Mark Golden and the PNP a resounding mandate. But that mandate is for them to fix things. And certainly, at the core of it, things like these has to be looked at, Jeffrey. There's no way that a young baby or a child or a person in Jamaica should have a surgery to be done and have to be out there cap in hand. And not to insert myself, Jeffrey, but today I didn't even recognize that my sisters were basically on the feed, on my YouTube, on the TikTok feed. And it's way afterward when I finish the program, so I didn't even mention it. Tomorrow I will have to mention. And they both, Vanette basically said that she's making a contribution of $20,000. She made that comment. And my other sister, Dawn, immediately came on and said she's matching that with another $20,000. And they're actively seeing if they can get anybody else to come on board to assist. So, Jeffrey, I speak about my late mother and father every time. This is their DNA. Is 11 of us they have, Jeffrey, and all of us have our friends. So my yard was a big yard. Everybody come and eat. My sister Donna, I remember when I was in Kingston in my earlier sojourn, and I could carry 3-4 people to my sister's house, and they wasn't just getting a little bit of my dinner, They were getting a full plate of dinner. That is the DNA of my family. So when I speak this way, Jeffrey, you hear me actually cracking my voice. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it, Jeffrey.
I want to show the picture of the little baby boy, but I'm using my wife's computer, and I can't navigate her computer as such. So I have to wait until tomorrow. Hopefully my camera and my computer is working. The baby, it's a handsome little baby boy. Handsome little baby boy. And I'm asking everyone out there, go to the GoFundMe page and see what you can do to assist this mother and her son who needs help.
I'm trying to bring up something as we speak here, Jeffrey.
Because when you look at it, you also, for those who lives in Jamaica, you also can go to the hold on for me. I'll put this in the chat room here. You also can go to NCB, Christiana, the Christiana branch of NCB Bank, NCB, and you can go to Melissa. That's her account. That's the account there.
Melissa Blake. The account number is 876-440-7511. And no, that's her phone number. The account number is 854-359-037. And it's a Christiana branch, as you said earlier, Jeffrey. And the GoFundMe link is http realhelpinghands.com. And that's a campaign going on for Tigwain, all right? To fund that account. Let me get his full name here. I'm trying to pick up the name here. Wow. But certainly those are the information that you would need to really donate to the youngster.
Yes, indeed.
Talk
to us some more about the news coming into us. It's alleged that the young man is dead now.
Yes.
A 9-year-old brutally raped and murdered in this country. And all you can see is a prime minister going out there for a photo op. When will this thing stop, Conrad O'Brien?
Jeffrey, you know, sometimes your eyes become teary when you look at some of these heinous situations that take place in Jamaica. And these photo apps, it does no good because we have seen these photo apps over and over and over again. We saw the latest over with the Prime Minister out there. The Prime Minister is on the job for 9 years, and this sex registry, right? Scenario is out there in the domain to be fixed, so that people who are accused or certainly who commit these acts, they are known, right? The mother of the of the 9-year-old said that she wasn't aware that the guy was just coming out of jail or he had previous conviction for rape or for sexual crime. Mm-hmm. So had the registrar been invoked rather, that the communities are aware, then just maybe the young student, 9-year-old St. John's primary student, would be with us today. But no. What happened, Jeffrey? We jump for photo apps. Whenever something happens, we say that no stone will be left unturned, and people are talking with stone face and so on. The fact of the matter is that after this is coming after the fact, when everything happened, because this young man of 30 years old, a boy that went to St. George's College, as I understand it from his mother, he now lies dead because he chose a life of crime. But on the other hand, the 9-year-old, she has been dismembered. She was dismembered and stuffed into a barrel. Jeez. Not to come back. You understand? So we must put all those things front and center, Jeffrey. And it behoves the powers that be to be proactive rather than being reactive.
I have this evening, Canada, Brian. I'm going to have opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Mottley, on the program here.
Yes.
I'm going to put the question to her. Why is it that the Jamaican government, which have that, I know she can't, what is her views on it, for them not to make this sex worker public? In other jurisdiction, it happens. Why in Jamaica? Are they hiding something? All right.
Well, Jeffrey, it's a very important question you're asking, because one can remember going into the election campaign when there was a gentleman coming in from Qatar who was coming off a sentence that he said for rape. I think he was a pilot or something like that. And the top leadership within the Jamaica Labour Party went and meet him. I remember Lambert Brown was on radio at the time, and he spoke about it ad nauseum. So I can't fault you, Jeffrey, to be asking certain questions. Why is this so long in coming?
And quite frankly, Canada, Brian, and I will not apologize to neither he, she, nor the old lady this afternoon. The blood of
remember no, Jeffrey, that we're waiting to be served.
That's an idiot. He is an idiot. I dare Marlon to sue me. Come on, do it if you think about it. Let me say something to you, Canada, Brian. And I will say this publicly. The blood of that 9-year-old baby is on Andrew Holness and Delroy Truck's shoulder tonight.
Oh God! Well, you're taking me there, Jeffrey. I'm not sure that I am prepared to go that this. But let me hear you. Develop the point.
And why I say that? In which modern democracy can you have people, a person who was locked up for a crime that he did? Well, let's say he did it. of doing this when you raped somebody before and he was locked up. And for some unknown reason, he got bail. He has a mental problem, I was told. Lie or true, I don't know. And he came back out and did the same crime. And the Minister of Justice refused to make the sex register public in this country. What is the reason? Why?
Well, that's a bigger question, Jeffrey, in terms of the sex register. You know, how should that should be dealt with? All right, and that is what should be dealt with. I'm just trying to search through something here. So, Giovanni Ellis was killed in Sandy Bay this morning. That's a young man there, and the 9-year-old, you know, let's call the name Kelsey Cassidy Farragon. All right, and but to go to the point that you're making, direct, Jeffrey. My thing is more zeroing on the sex offenders registry, right? Why have that not been dealt with? And I believe that in terms of the remit of the government, I think they're falling down on it, and it will be very interesting to hear Senator Donna Scott Mottley this evening when she comes on with you, because certainly she would be in a position to expound the People's National Party position on all of this, because I think it was intriguing when Portia Simsimila defend office. You know, there was a lot of conversation on it, and the discussion was supposed to continue. I can't recall any level of discussion or anything that have taken place on this sex registry, offenders registry, since Andrew Holness takes office in 2016. And this is where, Jeffrey, the rubber hits the road. So many things have been left behind, and now approaching an election, you hear all this saying that we are going to do this, we are going to do that. What were you doing for the 9 years?
And going around taking pictures,
creating scandals, and basically creating egregious things so that your filing cannot be certified. That's what you were busy doing. Busy having our project move from 2.5 billion to 26 billion. That's what you have been busy doing. Busy overseeing the Jamaican economy stagnant. Busy seeing poverty worsened in 2025 than it was in 2016. Busy seeing. Hold on, Jeffrey. Let me give you one more. Busy seeing the basket that you went into the parliament with, that was costing 4,000 at the time, that you basically raised an alarm about cost of living, and now the 15 or the 16,000 minimum wage can't purchase that basket that was for $4,000. Those are the things that you have been busy doing, Mr. Holness, and your government. And now you're coming back that you want a third term. Third term where? Let's call a spade, man. Let's call a spade. And I am at pains, Jeffrey, to say when I speak this way, I am not talking as a PNP man. I'm talking as a Jamaican. And the truth is that Mark Jefferson Golden has never got a turn at bat. And now the time is here. Let's give him a turn at the wicket and see, because I don't think he could do any worse than what we're seeing here now.
I wonder if my good friend who I have on the platform here with me, ABR News, you have something to ask Honorable Brian we're talking about. Go ahead.
Well, I basically am in agreement with what he says. We can't.
Sorry. I didn't hear when you started. Okay. Can you repeat, please?
Start back over, please.
Okay, so I'm saying greetings again, Obi, and I'm in full agreement with what you stated, that this government is calling for a third term, but a third term to really do what? too much mismanagement under this government, too much lackadaisical attitude under this government. So a third term, a no for me.
Conrad, when you look at what is going on in this country,
yes,
the Prime Minister presided over $3 trillion unaccountable for in this country. The Jamaican people don't do nothing about it. The Prime Minister said that he's wearing blue in support of the police. The Prime Minister of this country never come out and condemn the police beating of a 15-year-old. Yet he said that the JCF will never infringe on the fundamental rights of the Jamaican people under his watch.
But they do. But it happened every day. It happened every day. We saw the gentleman who was beaten in Maypen and arrested, and he said he cried foul because he said up to now he weren't aware of what he was arrested or beaten for. We also saw the 12-year-old who was actually arrested, sleep overnight in police custody because he refused from giving his password to his phone. While at the same time we have persons, Jeffrey, who you describe as the Vumvavi and Vumvava, the upper echelons of the society, that the state has to go through pains for the phone to be handed over for our investigation of murder to be carried out in the said person. Child. Everybody that I know, if you have your child murder, you would be climbing over hoops in order to go and let the police have access to your phone. But you don't hear anything coming from certain quarter as to how, as about that. But certainly the youngster was arrested because he refused from handing over his phone or to give his password. That what can go so?
But you know something, Canada Brian?
Uh-huh.
When you sit down and listen to what is going on in this country, you ask yourself the question, is the Jamaican people awake or they're sleeping? And why I say that is this. Jamaicans for Justice had a protest out in Halfway Tree a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. And Jamaicans have felt the hands of the police in this country in some way or the other. And when you sit down and you look, Andre Stevenson went out there, and God bless his soul. God bless him for what he's doing. He went out there. And he gave us a live feed from what went on out there. And you don't see any Jamaicans. You don't see an influx of Jamaicans out there with placards. Stop beating our people because we pay you. You don't see that. You don't see Jamaicans out there, but you'll see Jamaicans standing up in the streets. Free this and free that. Where does our lies in this country?
Yes, it's true. We tend to it seems as if we're happier, we're quicker rather to go there and to stand in the street in solidarity with persons in, say, North America or so on, or elsewhere. And don't get me wrong, we need to do that as well because we need to show solidarity with our brothers and sisters anywhere. But here is it. We have issues here in Jamaica that we should be lying in the street with placard in a decent way and basically push back. But Floyd said something to me. Professor Morris said something to me today on radio in his interview, and he said that what happened, there is a new frontier. There's a new frontier where the space for protest now is somewhat within the social media space. And he pointed out that when you look at the various social media platforms, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you go, people are out there and people are basically lining like a fence out there. For me, I believe that what you need, Jeffrey, I believe that we need to have both of them simultaneously. where the live bodies of people out there on the street showing support for and against going against the ills that are taking place in this country, while we can illuminate them and in the social media space. So for me, it's not either or. So I agree with you that, you know, more and more people need to be out there in solidarity and defending ourselves, because when we go out there and deal with these things, it is not for somebody else we're doing it for ourselves. Me doing it for me, you doing it for you, because you don't know when the ill will come at my doorstep or to your, Jeffrey. And I want to say before you come back in, Jeffrey, that the protest that took place and the Tree, that beautiful modern car transportation center, first world, that was built by the People's National Party administration, that the people went out and protest. You know, JFJ went out and had the protest. The people weren't out there. The protest wasn't against the police, you know. So the protest was against the government of Jamaica, really. People were saying that here what happened. You have failed the people over the last 9 years in terms of not giving the police body worn cameras. So when they're out there doing their job, the police could be exonerated because the evidence are there, and also the citizens will have to shut up because they could not be out there defending a man who was out there toting guns at police. So it was really the government. It's not the police, because people are quite in support of the decent law-abiding police. It's just a few rogues that are out there. People are saying, no, you need to basically recalibrate yourself and conduct yourself properly. Jeffrey?
Yes, Conrad. You have anything to say, ABR?
Yes, and just to add to that, it is true indeed that it was against the government and not against the police, because we've seen what they were trying to do when the Prime Minister came out and said that he's standing with the JCF. He would make it seem as if that the people are against the police, when in fact it was not so. And it is very alarming to see up to this date that it's 116 persons have been killed by law enforcers. And what we are really saying is that not all of them are criminals. And so when we demand and we ask for accountability, it is to protect our citizens, likewise our police men and women.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Conrad, when you sit down and you look that the Prime Minister, and I believe the Prime Minister and the Minister of Injustice should remain neutral. That's
absolutely, Jeff, because what the Prime Minister did, and by extension the other members of the House of Representatives and the Jamaica Labour Party side, what they did or seek to do at that during that protest when they wore blue, was to basically divide the country. And you don't need that from a Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is supposed to be the peacemaker, so to speak, the man who basically take an objective look at things. A neutral look at here what happened. There are some cause for concern here, and the people are looking at it. Not to say that, listen, we're wearing blue and you're wearing black over there, so there is a segregation there. That's not how a Prime Minister operates, or should operate by any rate. Yeah?
Yes.
That's not how a Prime Minister should operate at all. And this is one of the reasons, Jeffrey, why the people, basically, another reason why the people of Jamaica are saying, listen, we have turned our backs and we decide to part company. Because the Prime Minister seems to be so divisive, and anything, once you open your mouth, it is bad mind, your bad mind. So government must be left unchecked, because Andrew Holness is the Prime Minister. When Portia Simsimila was Prime Minister, it was unchecked. When PJ Patterson was Prime Minister, it was unchecked. When Michael Manley, it was unchecked. Even when Mr. Siaga was Prime Minister, it was unchecked. But it must, Bruce Gordon, must be unchecked. No, that Andrew Michael Rodham Brogan, who is Prime Minister, what can go so? We march down that lie. We march down that lie.
And Conrad, we need to find out as Jamaicans, when will this thing stop? Are we gonna go back to the polls? Are we gonna go back to the polls with the same old thing over and over and over again? Police believe that they have the power to beat a Jamaican citizen and nothing comes out of it. The Prime Minister continue infringing on the fundamental rights. Sorry, you all are hearing me now? The Prime Minister continue to infringe on the fundamental rights of the Jamaican people. The security forces has no scan regard for the Jamaican people. Is this what we're voting for in this country? Are we going to continue voting for from 1962 until now? As I on this platform, you know, the Babatunda Witcher, the great Wilmot Mutty Perkins, Barbara Bluden, has been speaking about these things for years. Now they are gone. It leaves to us, Conrad O'Brien, and ABR TV, Wilfred Rattigan and others, that we must educate the people. But it lies in the hands of the Jamaican people. When will you get up and speak out?
Well, Jeffrey, I tell you, we are doing our part, and we are imploring the citizens of Jamaica at home and abroad to basically participate. We saw recently, months ago, when people like yourself and Wilfred Rattigan and others, you know, you had the gumption to basically go out there and say, listen, you weren't happy with what is taking place in Jamaica, whether it was education, health, you know, water, housing, or whatever, and you came under attack. You came under attack for it. And those points that you made then, and I'm using the word you plural now, to include the body that did it, to say that, you know, you all went out there, you know, leave the comfort of your homes, and so you're not here in Jamaica, but you were prepared to do that. And we're saying that more and more Jamaicans here at home who are going through that, facing these things on a day-to-day basis, who continue to go to the hospital, and the service of the hospital is poor. The service of the hospital is so poor. I tell you something, Jeffrey. Yes. The other day I went to, and my friend from my colleague there who was chiming in as well, and listeners. The other day I went to the Lionel Town Hospital, Jeffrey. I took a wheelchair there for a gentleman I know. I met him through as a broadcaster. It was one of my callers. I used to be a caller of mine when I was at another media house. Regular caller, but we keep the link because I develop a lot of relationship, as you would know, Jeffrey. We form relationship out of what we do, you know. Right. Most of the people that we talk to and build relationship, we never know them from Adam, but they found favor with us, and so on. So we develop a bond there. So the gentleman there, he really wanted a wheelchair, and I sourced the wheelchair for him. As a matter of fact, it's through the assistant as well of our friend Wilfred Rattigan. He had an input in it as well. So I sourced a wheelchair and I took it to the hospital, Lionel Town Hospital, for the gentleman. And believe me, the stench that is coming from the hospital, the ward, is just so bad. It don't have to be like that, Jeffrey. When you walk into the hospital, as a healthy person going, Jeffrey, you feel like you're sick inside there. Just mere disinfecting the place.
Is it that kind of the brand that the people who there to clean the hospital not needed the right and proper way or what?
But Jeffrey, one of the things you see, I don't know, maybe, and it's something that the powers that be probably need to look at. If the work for taking care, the janitorial service for these hospitals, if it is being contracted out, then it must be looked at to see what are the sanitization products that are being used to take care of this hospital. Granted, we know that people are in the hospital with various things and so on, and invariably you may have some amount of stench coming through, but it doesn't have to be like that, Jeffrey. It does not have to be like that at all. So maybe the cleaning agent is probably not strong enough. It's probably, as you say, the people who are doing the work, are they really doing it as they should? But again, Jeffrey, it come back down to a little thing called even the remuneration, the pay. Yeah. Because majority of these people who are doing these hard work out there, while contracts are out there for billions and billions of dollars, they're getting $15,000 per week minimum wage.
True.
Can hardly buy a good cake, and I'm speaking in layman terms here. I know the term is bar of soap, but I'm saying a cake of soap. They can't even buy a cake of soap to take care of them.
All right, Tina, shake out. For those who are just joining us, welcome to the program. We're speaking about what is going on in the land of wood and water. At 7 o'clock Jamaica time, 8 p.m. US time, we'll be joined by Senator Donna Mottley, opposition spokesperson and justice. We're going to speak to her about the political ombudsman and also the justice system on a whole. What is her take on the whole justice system? What is her take on the sex register? Why is it that our people can't see what is going on in the sex register? Why is it that we must know tonight, as we come on air, from yesterday, Mother's Day, a mother lost her 9-year-old baby? What is going on in this country? Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. I have with me in studio ABR TV. She's a blogger, very good friend of mine. I love how she do her work. She's a person who, when the whole thing with Marlon Morgan and I started, I said, yes, she put it out first. And I commend her on that. And I also have on line with me Conrad O'Brien, the man who speaks truth to power, who's afraid of nobody, nowhere. Conrad, welcome back to the show. Go ahead, my friend.
My friend Jeffrey, I must say I'm indeed very impressed that you'll be having the august and the erudite Donna Mottley, attorney at law, one of the best, to speak on these very, very topical and germane matters that are impacting our people, Jeffrey. You see, when you have a government in place, Jeffrey, that's paid scant regard to the Constitution, then anything likely to happen, Jeffrey. Because the Constitution is the compass that governs a country, right? It's a compass. It's a blueprint. And when a government is prepared to breach that and treat that with scant regard, Jeffrey, then what will they not do? And hence...
And that is why
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
I'm asking Conrad O'Brien. I am asking this number. I want to give you a number to give. Okay. All right. No problem. Okay. No problem. We'll talk off here about that. Thank you. And that is why, Conrad O'Brien, I keep on asking questions. Is the Jamaican people asking themselves the question before the election call, what am I voting for? Am I voting for a party? Am I voting for the future of this country? Am I voting because I love my party? Am I love the Prime Minister? Am I love Mark Golding? Am I love the PNP? Am I love the JLP? Are you voting for Jamaica? Are you thinking about the Jamaica for your children, your grandchildren, children? That is what we must vote for in this country. When a government cannot give you a basic as health care, education, security, jobs, and a basic as water, then there's something fundamentally wrong somewhere.
Well, Jeffrey, when you listen, and that is why let me underscore what he said. I must agree with you wholeheartedly that the people of Jamaica must examine what is before them. Granted, we know for sure that you have two people who are offering themselves. One is certified, one is not. So you can begin right there. But there are a lot of other things that you will have to now put on the table. And what you have to look at as well is that Mr. Holness, Andre is there for 9 years. And certainly his record is found wanting. On the other hand, Mark Golden, we have a resume to look at with Mark Golden. What is that? What that resume looks like? That resume looks like this: a corporate lawyer that had rise to the top of his profession, one of the most respected in the Caribbean. That's one. We're also talking about an investment banker that had built a business from scratch to the point where you have a Scotia Bank out of Canada look at it and purchase that outfit. And he went back to the drawing board and basically a senior part of Proven, which again in another success as it relates to his government expertise. He served as Minister of Justice. He has under his belt the record of being the Justice Minister that have passed the most legislation in any one parliamentary term. You know, that is a term of government I'm talking about. So those are the things. You also can take him at his word. He talks about it. He said, listen, I will be dealing with things that, so he put on the grid things that he will be doing. He said, listen, I will be ensuring that every poor Jamaicans will be able to have access to the God-given beauty of this country, which is beach access. And I was quite impressed with him the other evening when I heard him on the town hall meeting. He said that they will be starting by talking to get the access. But if that fails, he will be going the route of legislation. And when he mentioned that, I said, my goodness, here we are seeing glimpse of the late Michael Joshua Manley in Mark Jefferson Golden. He also talked about repositioning the National Housing Trust, basically repurpose the National Housing Trust to look at the new frontier as it relates to basically ensure that the tourism workers who have been doing the heavy lifting, who have been basically putting Jamaica out there in the minds of the tourists. He is going to look at how you put housing in place so they can benefit. He is looking at the barbers, the hairdressers, the fruit vendor out there, the security guard who are at the lower podium of the pay scale, or low quintile rather, of the pay scale. How will he do that? He talked about moving Jamaica from the minimum wage, which was important at the time, to move it to a livable wage. Those are some of the things that Mark Golden put on the table for people to look at. And I must say, Jeffrey, I am happy that a lot of people are finding favor with them. I continue to quote her from time to time, the president from the Small and Medium-Sized Business Association, Miss Antoinette Hamilton, who said they had dialogue with both parties, and the People's National Party listened to them and what they put out there in terms of the housing policy, in terms of how they can move the small business forward with the 3 years of not paying any taxes, so they can now, use that to basically put into their business so the business can basically grow. They found favor with that because indeed foreigners are getting some of those references. So why can't our small entrepreneur get those facilities? And Mark Golden is saying that that, listen, he is committed and he will be rolling out these things from day one. These are not things that he's saying that, listen, we'll be looking back as late Monday morning quarterbackers, you know. He is saying that these are things that we are going with. They have formed the task force, and they're saying that, as Professor Morris said to me today, that they are shovel ready and they are prepared to hit the ground running.
Conrad, and I want ABR to come on in. Go ahead for me, Mighty. Can you understand something?
Yes, and just to add to all that he said, the take-home point should be that we look at the plans and policies from both. And so far, most or all of what Mark Golin has laid out on the table, we have the different sectors that are in agreement with those plans and policies. The Prime Minister seems to not have anything to campaign on, and so we are not really getting much from them, right? We just keep hearing this third term, and they're not showing the people. Say again?
As what Mrs. Warmington said in the Parliament, third term loaded, third term.
Yes, and that's what they're running on.
When half a man?
Yes, half a. Oh yes, half a man.
Yes, and those are some of the things. The 5,000. I came across a video where a young lady who was clad in a green shirt for a sitting MP in Western Westmoreland, and she was basically burning another candidate or another councillor from the government side shirt, and she's saying that she shouldn't have taken the $5,000.
Yes, I saw.
And when we look at it, what are we really voting for? If it's a $5,000 in 2025, we're still voting on a $5,000 on a box food. When we have the healthcare system.
Hold on,
hold on,
Conrad. Let's finish up. Go ahead, Conrad. Come on.
When we have the health sector in a deplorable condition, and there's $685 million unaccounted for, we see a great overrun at the Cornwall. What should have taken 2.8 billion is now taking over to it. Why didn't they just demolish the whole structure and build a brand new hospital? So when we're speaking, yes, so when we're speaking, it's not only based on a party, but think about what you're voting for. The future of Jamaica. We are the future now. We are grown-ups now. We are the future, living in our future now. What about our children to come? What about our grandchildren to come? They are making foundation. They're setting legacy for their families. What about the wider Jamaica? What about you and I? So these are some of the things that we need to continue to push out there. When we have a Prime Minister who is willing to take our Integrity Commission to court to strike out illicit enrichment, what is he telling us then? That it's definitely two Jamaicas, because there's a Jamaica for the elites and then there's a Jamaica for the regular human beings like you and I.
What we normally say, my good friend, is that there's a Jamaica for the people of the Vumbo on the Vumbo vein. And the little dirty foot trousers boy and dirty skirt gal who live below Crossroad. That's for them. So the people of the Vumbo on the Vumbo going up at Cherry Garden, up at St. Andrew and Cherry Garden, those people don't feel they don't go down to Coronation Market and buy anything, you know. They send their helpers go down there.
True.
We're nothing to them. And until the Jamaican people can stand up and realize that there is two Jamaica. Two Jamaica.
Yes, and you know, my friend and colleague here, she mentioned some stuff there, but one also want to just remind Jamaica, both at home and abroad here, Mr. Tavares, that the government of the day, you know, have people there that even go as low as to steal the children Nutribun Bula money how low we have seen things here in this country, and we have seen where corruption has reached a crescendo. And the Jamaican people basically will have to look at those things going into the upcoming general election.
Definitely so.
Yes? So those are some of the things that are out there, Jeffrey. We're still seeing. Let's remember that former Minister of Education and his wife and the councillor down there in Centre and his daughter and the former president for the CMU.
5 of them.
Let's remind Jamaicans that they have to be to retreat from their job because of major corruption allegation. And we have seen where the whole thing has been collaborated by the help of Mr. Reid and his former driver. All of those things are out there, and we are waiting with bated breath, still waiting to see what will happen there. We have also seen where Miss McLean, who was at the Ministry of Education, she now is just a litany of things, you know, a litany of things that are just so sad. And Jeffrey, it really pained my heart. I'm going to have to leave you, Jeffrey, because I'm still in transit. So I'm going to leave you, and then I certainly will be listening later when the Shadow Minister of Justice come on, Attorney at Law Donna Scott Mottley.
Yes, I want to say thanks for coming on. What good.
Good. All the best, and take care, my sister. God bless you.
All right, safe travel. Blessings.
So there we have it. We have Colonel Brand came on a while ago and speak to us about what is his views and what is going on in the land of wood and water. Jamaica, the nation in which we claim that we love. I got a number to give to the lady who called in Melissa about her son. I have a number to give to her. As soon as I come off here, I'll give her that number for her to call the Ministry of Health, because her son is in need of emergency brain surgery and she doesn't have the help to do that. We have her let me find back her let me find this thing here, her number for the, hold on for me please, let me find it here. She gave us a number and a GoFundMe. She gave us a GoFundMe page, and also she gave us a account that people can donate to her. Let me find it and let you go on it, please, and see what you can do to assist her, because she is in need of help for her son. Her son is in need of help, and we are doing our end of our best on this program here to see what we can do to assist her. The surgery is going to cost $1 million Jamaican dollars. And I believe that the government of Jamaica can take that $1 million and give it to her, because they overspend and they rob up some money in the Car Regional Hospital. And I believe that they can give this young lady the $1 million for her son. This is the GoFundMe page. I'm still searching for the GoFundMe thing here. Let me go over here and see if I can pin it into my thing here, because she's in need of help. She is in need of help. But until we in this country come together and assist each other, then I don't know. Our nation is in crisis. Serious crisis. Serious crisis. There it is. We just pinned it a while ago. Urgent brain surgery. My good friend, come on back in here. We're gonna go back to the whole idea. What do you think should happen now when it comes on to? I want to say good evening to my good friend, my moderator who's coming on, Walking in Divine Purpose, who's coming on now to assist in the page here on the platform here. I know she has been very busy, and you know, I want to say welcome, and I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you have a good week this week. I want you to come on in now and speak to us. What is your views on the whole sex register thing? Your views is, do you think that should make it public, or is it because some people have the vumba on the vumba on it, they don't think they should make it public?
It doesn't matter who is on it. I do believe that it should be made public. In other countries, in other jurisdiction, they have that list public. And so we know, because look at it. In Jamaica, the list is held dear to their hearts. The list is private. We, the wider Jamaicans, are not made known of that list. And so when someone does something in that nature as it pertains to assault, sexual assault, and would have been tried and convicted, found guilty of, what do they do? If the list is not public, what do we as the other citizens do? Because we're not in the know.
Right. And that is why I keep on saying that this election that is coming up, it is the election that will change or break Jamaica.
Definitely
because
so.
The soul of Jamaica's democracy relies on you, the Jamaican people. And we must ask ourselves the question, are we voting for a better Jamaica, or are we voting for a party that we love? Are we voting for a Jamaica that we can get proper health care? Or are we voting for a prime minister that we love? Are we voting for proper security system? That the security forces do not belittle us and beat us as if we're nothing? Or are we voting for a political party? Are we voting for a change that we, the Jamaican people, so dearly need? The change that we seek in this country, cannot and will never come from the two political parties in this country, The change that we seek in this country will come from all of us. Every single Jamaican.
Unity.
And what I see in Guyana the other day, I didn't see a two political party come together and protest against the killing of young Ariana Young. I see the people of Guyana come together. And the people of Guyana demand justice for young Ariana Young. 11 years old. I think she was 11 years old, I think. Yes?
Yes.
When will we in this country get up and demand accountability in this country? And do not get up and say, left my prime minister alone. I mortgage my house. One lady said she will mortgage her house and get Andrew the money to fight a lawsuit.
My God.
Have you ever stopped to think if the prime minister would mortgage his house and give her any money to help her son out of jail?
Not at all.
Huh? Tonight, a 9-year-old was brutally murdered and raped in this country. And you don't hear not one single female member of parliament come out and hit out against it. And all they can see is a prime minister who hold barrage of cameras behind him, going up to the people in the house. People should have run him.
My God.
This is the country that we're living in. And we keep on talking and talking and talking and talking. When will there be action in this country? We have been talking from Wilmot Perkins and Barbara Blood and Mottley Perkins days. And Winston Babatunda Witter, Antoinette Harton and Joan Williams. And we're still talking until this blessed day. Come August, we'll be 63 years old. And there are people still don't have water in their pipe. Is this the country that we want to leave for our children? Huh? Good night, we could talk you live.
Good afternoon, Miss. Good evening, Mr. Jeffrey, and to your host.
Good evening,
Blessings.
Well, as I said before, we're tired of the talking. I just want you, the viewers, to know that the Torrent Baptist Church have been protesting for almost 2 months now, and they are right across Jamaica, every parish you can think of. If you're in Kingston, you can get the Emancipation Park, and they were definitely out there this morning. Also, Portmore, talking about the same thing and demonstrating. I know there are people asking where the churches are. For me, I'm asking about where the umbrella of churches. And of course, Apostle Shuttleworth have been asking where they are, and the saints as well. And we're also asking for the believers to come out, and not just Christians, but everyone is welcome, right? This cannot continue. Our children, they are in listen, the classroom is crazy. You see what they did to the teacher, right? I know they beat the teacher. If anything should happen, if a teacher should fight back, you will see it all over social media. I tell myself this, that any child, I love children, but any child will try to fight me, I am going to fight them back. I care zero, because when you're in the classroom, you will not even understand the things that teachers going through. And for this government to take a 300% increase, all right, don't even look at us, the teachers, but the hospital, right? The hospital, they're in critical condition. I heard someone say that they don't need bed, they need equipment and stuff, but the bed, they are a part of it, because if you have the equipment and you don't have a bed, how are you going to be able to assist the patient or to diagnose the patient? So we need a lot of things. The police officers, right? And that is why you have so much going on in the country. We cannot control crime, but we can minimize it. And this is getting out of hand. People can come and protest that 9-year-old. Let me tell you something, man. My heart, I can't even sleep properly because of it. Just imagine yesterday, Mother's Day, what that mother went through. You understand me? And there are so many people who know and heard about this thing. Them for lock them up and show where the key. Yes, I'm a Christian man, but you not lock them up. Listen, I know of a case and I had to leave Jamaica once because I reported something and I had to hide myself and do what I have to do because of that child. I care zero. Lock them up. Lock up the mother. Lock up anybody who know anything. These are our children. And when Apostle Shuttleworth spoke about AKA Sky, said there are so many people coming down on him and they don't understand that this thing is spiritual. They're out to the church, say you want to do your music, go elsewhere. The adults out there don't come to the children. This needs, we don't want it in the classroom. We don't want the needs. Our children, they are in danger. The others have got to pray over your children. Get up in the morning, pray. Grandmothers, follow them everywhere they go.
Yes.
If them tell us for one man out there, give them 20 for a bad juice, tell them. But the thing is, you see, Mr. Jeffrey,
yes, ma'am.
Jamaica have this tendency where we believe in beating our children and we don't want to hear. They have this thing where they don't have a voice. You've got to let your child trust you enough that when they say something, that something happened. I was at a particular school and there was this young lady that was molested by her stepfather. And she told me that she came to me to confide, and I called up her mother, and her mother said it's a lie she telling. And I said, Mother, how you know it's a lie? And we dig up into it and dig it. So you know what people said? She needs to go by, we must put her into a home. I said, the home is not the answer. And I said, I'm not going to let this go. She's not related to me, but it takes a village to raise a child. So many people saying that it's not their business and leaving everything for the teachers. We are tired and frustrated. We are tired. We are at the brink of letting go. But because there's just a few still believe that God is able. And everything you hear where the church is, come on now. Baptist Church is out there protesting.
Yes.
We're protesting against the LGBT community. We're asking for the sex registry report. We're asking for the core report. We're asking for so many things. You can join. You have to go to work. Join in the morning. Start at 6 a.m. also calling for Pastor Davis.
Yes. Darling,
Enough, man.
I gotta run because I gotta get prepared for
All right.
to come on. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I just wanted to voice my opinion. Cool.
No problem. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. Good night. Welcome back to our program. We only have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go, please.
Yes,
Go ahead. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Good afternoon, AB, and good afternoon. Calling from Cape Town. I was just listening to that young lady, but there are certain things that she said that I agree with. The church has been very silent on a lot of things, and one of the reasons why a lot of persons losing faith in the church because they believe that they have become biased towards certain things. They have become like a pawn in government or whatever it is. The problem that I'm having with them.
Let me tell you something, sir. I can tell you something. You have very few pastors like Pastor Shuttleworth and others who will go out there and speak out, you know. Because Pastor Shuttleworth is not in the back pocket of Andrew Holness. Do you know why many of them want to come on my program from the umbrella group of churches and whatever group of churches? It's because I talk to her and I make no apology. The umbrella group of churches, along with all of them, is in the back pocket of the Prime Minister of this country.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, sir. And what they don't realize, and what a lot of persons don't realize, it is a reflection on the society that with that. When I was growing up, the church have certain reverence that when they speak, people listen. People listen. Ask yourself this question: how does person feel about the church, regardless of which pastor? Because I am sure that person have their is against Pastor Shuttleworth, them have them is against this person, that person, or whatever it is. Sometimes it's just a message. But what?
Majority churches in this country.
They are too silent. They are too silent.
All they want, sir, is doctor of nothing. Doctor. Dr. Pastor Jeffrey Tavares of the Holy
prophet something.
Hold on for me, sir. Hold on for me. Or Pastor Dr. Jeffrey Tavares, Archbishop of the Holy Hill Zion Church. Dr. Fiwa. And some of the poor one in the church believes that Dr. Fichu, you know.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
What I'm trying to say now, I think the church, the umbrella of churches, should do more, and they are losing their voice. And this is it, they are losing their voice. And people are losing the belief in them, that whatever they say, that it is factual, or they can trust what they are saying, because the reverence is not there anymore. And you have to understand, and where the society is going on, sometimes they might look, it's like a man, the Bible says, they might go and run to the hills, and the hills are going to say, the rock, and the rock will say, go and summit to height. This is where the church is going, because the people get fed up right now, because the person who's supposed to set in the example not doing it, and who's supposed to be vocal not coming out. The young lady said Tarrant. Who else from Tarrant is? Who else from the church is coming out with Tarrant or any other church?
But not only that,
this guy.
I keep on saying on this program, Jamaicans for Justice went out there. They had a work permit, a protest permit to protest. And you think that Jamaicans will, in the numbers, go out there and stand up with a placard?
Exactly.
Very few Jamaicans went out there. And that is to show you. And I said it to Wilfred Rattigan. Are we beating up our gums? And there's nothing going on in Jamaica?
Quickly, so Jeffrey, I'm going to say.
Hold on for me. Is it that the people is in cahoots with the government? That law the government is doing on? All I can hear, Jeffrey, they're afraid of Andre, you know?
Okay, so Jeffrey, I'm going to say this. Look at the social media influencers. I am 100% sure if someone famous, an artist, or someone of influence on social media, something happened to them seriously. You say how much of them come out and voice them opinion, but yesterday you don't see none of them come out with this little 9-year-old, not just this 9-year-old, and the rest of kids. But if one of these social media famous person come out, something happened to them, you hear them come out and them keep big vigil and them keep this, because it's just for the clout. They are just fake. Simple as that. These people are just for their own selfish propagandists. That's as far as I can say. They are not for Jamaica.
All right, my friend.
Okay then.
Thank you for calling in. and I must apologize about something here. Denise Daly of the People's National Party did come out and speak out against the 11-year-old that was beaten by the police, or the 12-year-old, or the 15-year-old, I think. I don't know if she had came out and speak out
And
about.
she came out on a 9-year-old, I think. Yeah.
She did.
She did. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get anything from the communication director of the party. So hopefully other people come out and speak about it. It is now 15 minutes before 7 o'clock in Jamaica, 15 before 8 o'clock. We're going to join Miss Donna Scott Mottley at the top of the hour to speak to us about the justice system in our country. ABR TV, you can stay on for here. Can you stay on with us? Or you got to go?
Yes. For some more time. Yeah. I can.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jamaicans, both home and abroad. Members of the Jamaican diaspora led by Wilfred Rattigan and myself. We went out and we demonstrated about corruption and cronyism and what the police is doing to our fellow citizens in our country. Let me say something here this afternoon or tonight here. There is so much that we can do. And if you all gonna sit down and all I can hear all Jeffrey Arty can do is chat. We have done something. We got up and we make the world know what is going on in the country. What are you doing?
True.
What are you doing? Are we going to continue like this for the next how many years and do nothing? Jamaica was in charge of the Cayman Islands at one point. Everything that Cayman need came from Jamaica. Look on the Cayman Islands now. There is nothing wrong with Jamaica that cannot be fixed. There is nothing wrong with this beautiful piece of rock, this gem of the Caribbean that cannot be fixed. And one of the ways we can fix this thing, we must stop love party and love this country.
True.
We must stop saying me a die-hearted comrade and me a die-hearted Labourite. Be a die-hearted Jamaican. We must come together as a people. This nation is as divided as the parliament of this country. A 9-year-old have been brutally raped and murdered in this country. Where is the outcry? Because it is not at a Jeffrey Tavares doorstep or a ABR doorstep or a Walking in Divine Purpose doorstep or a regular girl doorstep. And I can call other names. It is not because of the doorstep. When the people of Guyana, when that young lady, that young 11-year-old could not be found, the people of Guyana came out.
Mm-hmm.
I am not in agreement with them burning down the hotel in Guyana. No, I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I am not. But the people of Guyana got up and speak out to their government. What are we doing in this country? Is it that we are so partisan? Is it that we love the Labour Party and we love the People's National Party and we don't love Jamaica? Is that the cry? Is that what we are in this country? Let me make something clear. I have the utmost respect for the office of the Prime Minister. The respect for the office. The office of the Prime Minister belongs to the people of Jamaica. And likewise, I have the utmost respect for the office of the leader of the opposition. And let me make this clear tonight. If Mr. Mark Jefferson Golding should gain state power in this country when the election is called, and if Mr. Golding do not do something about the justice system in this country, sir, we'll be holding you accountable. If Mr. Gordon do not do something about the corruption in this country, sir, we'll be holding accountable. If Mr. Gordon do something about the police going around beating the people of this country, the citizens of this country, we'll be holding accountable. If Mr. Golden do not do something about the level of what the police are doing in the sense of the illegal tickets that they're giving to the bus and taxi operators, we'll be holding accountable. We cannot continue like this. From 1962 until now, it's the same thing over and over. There got to be some change somewhere. I'm not in favor of what other countries may do and have coup and whatever. But maybe the country that have the coup, maybe it was necessary. That African country, that young man who's 34-year-old, who is the president for now, he has changed the country around. Jamaica do not have to be sending overseas to buy Irish potato, scallion, carrots. We can supply the entire Caribbean. But what we're doing, we are allowing the Chinese to build roads when the agriculture sector in this country is going to the dogs. You're telling me from 1962 until now, the two political parties couldn't do something about the water system in this country? You're telling me from 1962 until now, the two political parties couldn't do something about the water going to the breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth? Every year, we hear about drought in St. Elizabeth, and every year about we're chucking water. When will this stop? Those are the things that we must vote on. Those are the things we must ask for, and we must demand that the leaders have town hall meetings. We can't just vote because we love a party. What Sankey sing, sir? Huh? What Sankey sing, sir? ABR, take it away. Your turn.
And just to add to what you were saying and to the last caller, when we look and we see this little 9-year-old girl, met her demise in such a way, and we don't see the people them coming out. We're not saying we must go and burn down anywhere, but peaceful protests to show that you are against or in objection of what is going on, or some of what is going on. But as the gentleman stated, that if I know one popular person, because I'm sure that if it was an artist or a popular person, we wouldn't have to be coming on our platforms to say what or to ask what the Jamaican people are doing. But because you see the girl is not popular, it shouldn't be. All lives matter. She's a baby. She's a baby. And so it's time that we stand up and we hold the powers that be to account. The very same Prime Minister did tell you, said to hold the leaders to account. We are the ones who elect them to work for us. So we taking our platforms and enlightening and talking about, voicing our concerns, our opinions. It alone is not enough. As the teacher came on earlier, she's saying that the teachers are overburdened. The teachers are fed up. We shouldn't leave it alone on the teachers. We shouldn't leave it alone on the bloggers. We shouldn't leave it alone. One hand cannot clap, basically. And so when we on the platform are speaking out and the people are on the ground, sending the same message and the same signal, it's more powerful than when you leave it and I say we're scared of the Prime Minister. Scared of what? Afraid of what? You cannot be afraid. The Prime Minister is not above we coming out and voicing our concerns of some of the things that he's not doing well or what we have elected them to do. We have the power lies within the people. And oftentimes we give our power away and we make them infringe upon our rights.
Hello, good night. You only have 2 minutes. Go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, Jeffrey, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. I was just tuning into your program. I just come from the people I'm working. Tune into your program.
Yes.
The police actually execute another Jamaican citizen without the right procedure. Is the JCF no a lawless set again? Because in the past we know prominent kids been murdered, you know. And up to now, those cases are cold cases, you know. And names on the grapevine were called, you know. And nobody moved to those people, you know. And they're still in the public arena, you know. Insulting the Jamaican people, you know. Recently, in February, there was a 13-year-old who was sexually assaulted, you know.
Yes.
And make a written affidavit to the court, you know. But was so intimidated, her family had to get her out of the country. And the politician is still talking about hang them, kill them, then teeth, kin and all them things. So listen, why the people are so scared? The people have reason to be scared.
Yeah.
Because if a policeman can't hear my name, I call from a particular instance and just put that in my face.
I'm getting a wrap-up signal because we're going to take Donna Scott Mottley. I'm getting a wrap-up signal.
Okay, boss. That's it. No problem. I will. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial, but then we get with Donna Scott Mottley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the date for general elections in Jamaica. So no government will be able to come and make false promises and hide the truth and tell you half-truths and trick you into voting for them, and then when them win, them throw on poison for you.
100 days. The fixed election date. Still I wait for the promise to fulfill. One broken promise after another. Laughable, as we say. None of your promise not fulfill yet, boss. So there are we.
Within the first 100 days of our government, we will start the legislative process to institute impeachment proceedings in Parliament. This will add another layer of protection of the Parliament to ensure that only members of unquestioned integrity sit in the Parliament.
All ministers under the new Jamaica Labour Party government will be given a job letter. That job letter has a timeline of 2 years and 6 months with key performance targets which are agreed upon by the cabinet, focused on two things: economic growth and job creation.
Andrew, you need to do what you said from 2016. You say you're going to put it on paper. So anything you put on paper, the MP have to work with it. So you need to do it now. Because I feel like, say, when you do that, the MP will do them work. And we will see work done in the community.
Within the first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to introduce term limits on the office of Prime Minister.
Andrew, unless John him break him promise and nothing him say I'm gonna do, you know, for the next 100 days, and now him not do nothing. Him not keep no promise, and him say I'm the promise keeper. What a promise, John star.
At a convenient time within our new government, we will hold a grand referendum on the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, as the final appellate court.
You make so much promise for us. Look how long you're here.
Welcome back to the Make We Talk program, where we're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is the Make We Talk program. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. On the phone we have tonight is opposition spokesperson and Justice Senator Donna Mottley. She's also an attorney at law. Senator, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. It's always a pleasure to be on your program.
I also have a fellow blogger on the program here with me. Her name is BRTV. That's what she runs, the TV program she runs. She's also on the program here with us tonight, Senator.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to have her here.
Yes. Senator, I want to have your take again. Another 9-year-old murdered in this country. Raped and murdered. And until now, the Jamaican people cannot see the sex register. Your take on that, Senator Mottley?
And I'm totally, I mean, this is Child Month. And we are expected to protect children from violence and abuse. Generally, but Child's Month, all the activities are heightened. And it was totally devastating to hear of the brutal murder of this little girl. Not just the fact that she was raped, but how she was disposed of, not like a piece of garbage, just like that. I think that there are some crimes where the whole nation mourns, and this one was such one for Crystal. Now, the sex offenders registry. This matter only comes up, Jeffrey, whenever we have something that hurts us like this. Yes. Whenever we have a child being brutalized as we did. Last year, January 2024, when we had another such brutal murder, Minister Chang had promised that he would have revisited the whole question of the sex offenders registry, and he would have taken steps to have it made more available. I frankly believe that the sex offenders registry, as it presently is, where it is only employers, you know, if you have people in vulnerable positions, you have the Jamaica Constabulary Force itself, and only a very small category of persons who can access this register. I don't think it meets what it's required to do. There is no way that a repeat offender should be in such close proximity to a child and no one knows about it. I believe we have to seriously consider making the registry public available. Now, how they do it in Trinidad, and that was Trinidad Sex Registry came about because of agitation from citizens. And citizens themselves started publishing the names of repeat offenders. There is a website that you can go to, and you can do a search for a person's name. The law does not allow you to share the information, but certainly you can search to find out if the person has a history of or a conviction for sexual offenses. And Jamaica has to begin to talk about how it is that they are going to balance the rights of some individuals. Because there are circumstances where, for example, you might have young people who unfortunately a report is made and there's a conviction and so on. You have to balance that against somebody who has been convicted of a violent rape. We have to have that discussion. I frankly, this is my personal opinion, I feel that the registry ought to be made public.
Do you know the take on the party's position on this, Senator Mottley?
Well, the party's position is that it should, there might need to be some aspects of confidentiality around it, but that it certainly has to be made more open and more available to the public. So we have had, even last night, we were considering how it is that we could balance the rights of persons against the need to protect persons. And I think the overwhelming response is that we need to protect persons from these depraved individuals. Another point which was raised is that there is no treatment of an individual such as the one alleged to have committed this offense. If you see a pattern, you must know that this person needs some kind of therapy, if they are going to be rehabilitated. But there is no provision for any such thing. Psychologists and psychiatrists have said that persons who perpetrate such violent acts against children are often ones who have been abused as children.
Yes.
So we need to delve a little deeper. And I hope that this time, unlike the other times, Jamaica will take a pause and will really consider where it needs to go in terms of this, the legislation overall and this particular registry. I would endorse that it be made public. I will make myself available if the government wishes to embark on and finally keep their promise on this score. I will make myself available for any discussions that they want to have. Because at the core of it is that we must protect our children and our women in these circumstances.
BR, you have any question for Senator Mottley?
Yes, good evening again, Senator Mottley. This
Good
is
evening.
ABR News TV. My question here is, other than making the sex offenders registry public, what else or what other things can be put in place to help in protecting our children from a law standpoint? We know that it takes a village, and we from the community have a role to play as well. But what else would you suggest as a senator or as a lawmaker in helping to protect our children?
Well, the thing about it is that you have to hold those persons who stand in guardianship accountable. Persons have to pay close attention to what their children do and where their children go. If you look at some of the situations where our young children face this kind of abuse and trauma, it is because they are left in the care of a neighbor, the care of family members, and one simply takes for granted that these people are going to protect your child. Now, there are even allegations that there are places in Jamaica where it is well known that fathers sleep with their daughters, family members sleep with young children. And it's really alarming when you realize that it's actually a cultural tradition. So I believe that in addition to legislation, as you said rightly, it takes a village. And we have to be more sensitive to what is happening with our children. I have heard parents, for example, trying to beat a child, I'm going to beat you, kill you. You understand? That kind of language encourages abuse of children from every perspective. There are parents who actually facilitate older men having access to their children because of financial benefits. And so at the end of the day, I think we have to have some kind of public education around this and encourage persons in communities to, as you say, talk it up, Jeffrey.
Yes.
Talk up the thing. Make we talk. So that you actually have a reporting system if people notice that something is going wrong in the community.
Senator Mottley, what I don't understand though, and I use this word on this platform already, and you laugh because you never heard this word before. Why is it that the people of the effluent society, the people of the Vumvavon, the Vumvavi, they're quiet when it comes on to things like this? Is it because it's not their doorstep?
You know, I think that is a reasonable conclusion. And in fact, I think that legislators sometimes can't put themselves in the position of a victim in this instance. That is why I believe in consultation when you're doing legislation, because I don't think you can make a law for something that you yourself might be so far removed from.
True.
Take, for example, Jeffrey, something which disturbs me is that we're now looking at legislation where if a child is charged for murder, convicted of murder, a child between 14 and 17, then there's a mandatory minimum of 45 years that they must serve.
Wow.
we don't see the role which we as adults play in bringing up a child who can be the perpetrator of violence. After COVID, we saw when school resumed, we saw children just attacking children, just without any cause or reasons. The videos were circulating and going viral of girls fighting, boys and girls fighting. And the society never paused to try to understand what had caused this to happen. Why was it now so much more prevalent in schools? And part of it was simply that being locked up in the house, they also were being abused, both physically and sexually. So if you're going to apply a solution, I think you first have to identify the cause, the reason behind why these things take place.
Senator Mottley, I want you to take off your political hat and put on a normal Jamaican hat. Would you say the Jamaican people are afraid of this government? And why I go down that route is because when you see Jamaican for Justice out there protesting against police beating our citizens and other things that is going on in the country, judicial killing and so forth, do you think that the Jamaican people are afraid of this administration, Senator?
I think that there's a lot of fear when you talk to people. They're afraid of being victimized. And that is reasonable because we do have examples of victimization. I think also the way in which the leaders behave, both the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security, would make people feel that if you speak out against it, you are doing something wrong. The Prime Minister, for example, says he sees two clear choices. Either you meet your judge or your maker. And he suggests that, there is no space in between. The Minister of National Security has encouraged the police, if they are confronted, to shoot to kill. So I think that there has been an endorsement of state brutality by our leadership, which encourages the police in the things that they do. Almost every single day, somebody is killed by the police in some kind of confrontation. Take, for example, today, the person who is alleged had murdered the 9-year-old girl. He was shot and killed in Clarendon. Now, frankly, there were people who were rejoicing and said that was a just end, just outcome to the situation. I would have liked him to have gone on trial. I would have liked all of Jamaica to see how our justice system works, and I would have liked him to have been punished. I would have liked him, just like the Cocoa Piece killer, to face a judge and to face a jury and to get a sentence which makes it clear that he would never see daylight again. That to me is punishment. These I'm sorry.
No, sorry. You go ahead, Senator. Finish your point. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying these executions bring about fear in a society. And I believe that's exactly what is intended. That people don't want to demonstrate, people don't want to speak up for themselves because they feel that if you do, there are going to be consequences. There's going to be a price to pay. I think that is really unfortunate. I think also when you see like Jamaicans for Justice coming out and demonstrating, and the Prime Minister wearing blue on the side of to indicate he's on the side of the police, that is also very intimidatory. The Prime Minister does not need to wear blue on a day when the JFF is demonstrating. He should wear blue every day. We support the police, but we support when the police act in a responsible way, bringing perpetrators to justice, bringing them to court so that all aspects of our system can work and work well. We cannot support those who are supposed to uphold the law, who flout the law in such a flagrant way that you can tell that individuals have been murdered. Murder by anybody is unacceptable. And the state must lead by example.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking to the People's National Party opposition spokesperson and justice, attorney at law, Senator Donna Scott Mottley. Senator Mottley, I'm going to have ABR to come on in to ask a question. But I've asked you this question before I go, though. Before I let she come on in. When you see all of this going on in the country now, Senator, would you say that Jamaica is becoming a dictatorial state?
I have real fear about the dictatorial tendencies that I see. And this is a time when I'm taking off my political hat.
Yes.
I during COVID, when I saw how the police acted and went into people's space, under people's bed, shame people by videotaping them, I began to have serious concerns. I began to see intimidatory practices. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party have a philosophy about government, and they're not afraid to tell you. They feel that if you elect them, you are to step out of the way and allow them to govern. They say it all the time. They don't see a real role for the opposition, so that all the consultations and discussions that would be between government and opposition over the years is not something they entertain. Take, for example, with the Caribbean Court of Justice. We have been calling for them, just talk to us and talk to the people and tell them what court you want as the final court of appeal. Why it is that you want to remain with the Privy Council if that is so. Why it is that you don't want to join the CCJ if that is so. But at least communicate to us. And there has been dead silence on it. Just prevarication and pretense and hypocrisy. You know, so it's like they don't see a role for the opposition at all. And if they don't see a role for the opposition, then they can't see a role for the people. That is what you call dictatorship.
BR, go ahead.
Okay, so Senator Mottley, on the point you made, saying that you would have rather the police brought in this alleged person who alleged to have committed this act on the 9-year-old little girl. But I came across a few interviews that was done by other bloggers where it is said that he was convicted of, carrying out a rape act on a 12-year-old family member, and he only got 3 years for that conviction. Fast forward to, I believe, last year or sometime this year, he carried out another act attempting to molest a 1-year-old baby, and he was given bail. So it said that he was recently sent out on bail. My question here is, we know that most of Jamaicans have no faith in the justice system, seeing that he's a repeat offender. He was convicted and was given 3 years. I don't believe that the act that was committed, a 3-year, would be justified, to give him there. But then again, the police officers taking the matter and to getting this person dirted. You know what we mean when we say dirted? Unalive.
Yes, I do.
Right? What do you say? Would you be on the side to say then even the police officers have no faith in the justice system? What's your take on
You know,
that?
it's a very complex question, and there is no easy answer to that. When you hear about sentencing like that, you get the impression that there is really no justice.
My God.
You understand why people feel that the justice system has failed them, because without more, you don't understand how a sentence of 3 years could ever come about. I don't know if he pleaded guilty or he was convicted. And that would be important in terms of looking at whether or not the judge took everything into account. In other words, a 3-year-old would not be able to give evidence in court.
No, the first incident,
there is in place what we call discount sentencing. And so if he goes and he pleads guilty on the first occasion, he's going to get a vastly reduced sentence because it is said he did not waste the court's time, he was remorseful, and so on. I frankly, in any circumstances, do not think that that is an appropriate sentence. No matter if he pleaded guilty, no matter if he was found guilty, 3 years for that offense sends a wrong signal to society as to how such an offense is viewed. And we need to look back at that aspect of the sentencing to make sure that anybody who commits an offense like that knows that the full hammer will be thrown at them, that they will be punished in the most severe kind of way. So but let me tell you how I feel. I don't feel that if you shoot somebody, that is punishment. People who are killed in that way, it is the people who are left behind who suffer. My understanding, speaking to doctors, is that it is a very quick sort of passage. You know, you feel the impact of the blow, and that is it. And frankly, I do confess, I admit, even though I know I might get some pushback at what I say, I really wanted him to be punished. If he's guilty, I really wanted him to feel a sense of suffering over what he had done. It really hurt. And you thought about, you know, shortly after we had Mother's Day. And you just had to think about how a mother feels to come up on Mother's Day and she has lost her child, and lost her child in such a brutal and vicious manner. But I wanted to see him suffer, and I make no apologies for that.
You have a follow-up question, there?
No, on the point, I was just making a small correction. On the point when you said a 3-year-old couldn't give a statement as it pertains to the whole court case. It wasn't a 3-year-old, it was a 12-year-old.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
A 12-year-old would be deemed to be able to give evidence.
Yeah. And so that's why I was saying the 3-year for that wasn't justified in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody can contradict that view. There's no way that 3 years can be justified. Under no circumstances should you be able to do that and only get 3 years in jail.
And that is why, hence, the Jamaican people believe that the justice system is not working for them at all.
There are a lot of people who feel that way. And unfortunately, although I raised a cocoa piece killer. The cocoa piece killer got like 96 years.
Yes.
There are instances where you can point to the fact that you are satisfied with how the matter has been dealt with and you are satisfied with the sentence. And then a situation like this is clearly abhorrent. Nobody could feel good about that.
But
nobody.
You know, Senator, I want to ask you this question though. If you're advising the opposition leader of this country, and there's a reason I'm going that way. I want to come to what I really want to come to. If you are advising Mark Jefferson Golden tonight to go and look for that 9-year-old parent, would you advise Mr. Golden to take a barrage of cameras from CNN, BBC, and all the media houses around the world with you to go and visit those families? Would you advise him to do that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I know that he has visited victims all the time and he has not done so. Matters such as this are not for PR and public demonstration. There are private moments in which you, as a politician, a leader, a human being, should have the opportunity to communicate to the family how you really feel. There's no place for the camera. Quite respectfully, there's no place for the camera because grief is private and comforting somebody is also private. So no, I would never ever, but I would not need to, Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
I would not need to because he's a very sensitive person and he would not do it.
You know, we're going to segue into the political ombudsman. But before I do that, when you see a prime minister take the whole barrage of cameras behind him for a photo of a bereaving family, it begs to ask the question, is this prime minister for the Jamaican people or not? That's the question we have to ask.
Well, there is an element of desperation which I see emerging, because I did not see it myself, but I gather that when he went to the funeral of Bolt's father, a similar thing took place.
Yes.
And I really don't think that these things are for public display. And in fact, I don't know who is advising the prime minister, but I think it turns off well-thinking Jamaicans. Now, your base is your base. So they will forgive anything you do, JLP and PNP. Mm-hmm. But the well-thinking Jamaican, who is a person who will vote for you depending on what you say, what you do, and how you present yourself, is going to be turned off by that. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't want it to happen to them or their family.
Mm-hmm. Senator, I want to segue into the political ombudsman office. And I find it very, very funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny. That the Minister of Justice did not know that there is one.
Alarming.
Well, it's a very curious state of affairs, frankly, because you remember that it was in February 2024 that the Minister of Justice subsumed the office of the political ombudsman into the ECJ. And I don't think that the general public, the civic organizations, the opposition, everybody said it's a bad idea, because what you're actually doing is compromising the ECJ. You want the ECJ to be an institution which continues to be respected. You don't want it to be an arbiter on political cascas and quarrels, and who shouldn't put up flag and who should put up flag. It has earned itself a tremendously high reputation, and it should remain untainted by those matters. So I was totally shocked when the minister came out with this, that what is happening at the ECJ? There is no transparency. There is no accountability. What is happening? Why is it that the reports and complaints are not being heard at the ECJ? Then he said he did not know who the political ombudsman was. And then when somebody was, then a couple of days after, he says, oh, somebody has been appointed political ombudsman. But the fact of the matter is that he forgot the law that he had passed. And the law which he had passed said it was the entire members of the ECJ who will act as a political ombudsman. Which was part of the difficulty which we had, because it meant the independent members as well as the nominated members, 2 being PNP and 2 being JLP. As it turned out, it was an evolving story, Jeffrey. If you compile all the reports, it will fascinate you. Because then we heard there was somebody who took the reports. That person was not named. And then eventually now we heard that there is like a liaison officer, somebody who will collect the information and investigate the reports and then present it to the body. At this time, I cannot tell you with any definite thought that I understand how the process works. I know that we had been sending in reports. We had not even got a response. Interestingly, on the same day, on the day when the ECJ, over the signature of the chairman, Earl Jarrett, when they wrote to Mayor Vernon in Montego Bay,
Richard Vernon,
and said to him, you need to, respond to this. Up to that day, I had checked after I came off a radio program, and I was told that no letter had been sent to the PNP. It was not until about 3 days after that a letter dated 25th of April, the same day as what was sent to the mayor, that was seen at the PNP headquarters. Now, if they had emailed it, we could have verified whether or not it was done the same day. But as it was not actually delivered to the PNP headquarters until sometime after. And these are the things that I feared about this move, because the ECJ has earned so much respect that I don't like the fact that we are having this discussion and examining what they do in the way that everybody has been doing, because it has made no sense to anybody how they function.
But if you can remember, Senator, Delroy Chuck's own colleague who has been in the parliament with him from Wappy till Philip and Philip dead long time. His good friend called Samuda walked out of the parliament the day when he was passing that bill.
Yes. Because Carl, listen, I've been around a long time, Jeffrey.
Yes.
When I ran in the 1989 elections against Mike Henry in Central Clarendon, and I had a lot of issues, where we would trash it out? Carl would be there, Paul Robertson would be there,
right,
and PJ Pattison and myself. And we would talk through the incidents that were happening and find a resolution. So Carl has been playing this role, a mediative role in politics for a very long time.
Yes.
And he understands the significance of having somebody who is independent, who can take that position. Remember, Carl and persons like him would have been the architect of the Electoral Advisory Commission, which became the ECJ and so on.
Exactly.
So he would have been very sensitive to the fact that this was not going to work. Interestingly, Minister Marlene Malahoo Ford was not in the House when the vote was taken either. And I don't think there was unanimous support over his side for the action which was taken. The way in which he did it also, because he tabled the bill and debated it at the same time. It came to the Senate, and that is not how the standing orders would conceive of it.
Right.
Same thing in the Senate. There was just a rush to pass it. So when you see that there are no mechanisms in place, and it's the same minister who piloted the bill saying, what is happening? What are the plans? How is this going to function? You have to ask yourself, what was his motive then in trying to rush through to put this office under the ECJ? Because he obviously had no strategy. Obviously, it was not discussed. There were no plans in place. There was no policy that was developed. So it makes me concerned. And I guess as time goes by, we will begin to understand what was the thinking behind doing so.
But Senator, this has never happened in the history of Jamaica before?
I don't know of it happening.
Because I have
that.
Checked.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Sorry. I said I have checked, and I have never heard of it being in the office of the ECJ.
Oh, no, never. No. But the whole concept of the political ombudsman was that you would have this independent person who could hold politicians accountable to the political code of conduct on which they had both agreed. And it was more an investigative and a mediative approach. I think that a government should want to strengthen the office of the political ombudsman and give it the ability to impose sanctions. Because the complaint was, but the ombudsman's office has no real teeth. Now, the importance of such an office, if you are going to look at it, you wouldn't look at it to basically abolish it. What you would say is, let us consult both political parties and see what we can do to strengthen it. Should the ombudsman be able to say, this person, based on my investigations, I would want to recommend to a political party that they not proceed with this person as a candidate, for example. You know, because you want to strengthen and improve the integrity of the politician and the caliber of the politician. Remember, you know, that when the parliamentarians were given a 300% increase in salary, part of the justification was that you wanted to attract a certain kind of person to the position. So you remember that, Jeffrey?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Senator, I have joining us here one of your good friends, one of Jamaica's finest talk show hosts of all time. He reminds me of the late Wilmot Motty Perkins, who speak and don't care what he speaks about. You remember Motty and Barbara?
Oh, yes.
And Winston Babatunde with her?
Oh, I do.
Yes. I have with me none other than the fireman himself, Conrad O'Brien. Conrad, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Conrad.
Hi, good evening. Hi, Senator. How you doing?
Good evening. I'm wonderful. It's nice to be speaking to you.
Well, thanks a lot. Senator, I must commend you for the great work that you have been doing and the way you marshal the Senate on the opposition side. You know, you display real character as it relates to leadership, and I really want to go on record saying that.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that comment.
You're most welcome, Madam Senator. That said, Senator Scott Mottley, we saw where the Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Radham Brogard Holness, went into the Parliament and said to Jamaicans that he had to move in on the poor residents of Clifton because he had information that Klansmen and other woodlums, as it were basically collecting and dealing with the land over there, and as a result of that, they had to cauterize that. Suffice it to say that shortly after that, we all learned that the person or the only person charged in that saga was a lady from the Prime Minister's constituency who is said to be a basic school principal or teacher. I'm putting that there, Madam Senator, to get into the other question. In light of that happened, that scenario that was basically given in Parliament, which we all recognize that it was a blatant lie or the Prime Minister was ill-advised, would you say that the fact that Delroy Chuck and the government by extension said that one of the primary reasons why they were shutting down the office of the ombudsman is that they would have a cost saving, and lo and behold, when the office was not being run, a budget was given of $47 million, and then just in this budget, $60 million was allocated for the said office when there's not an independent standalone ombudsperson, because the commissioners or persons within the ECJ would have already been paid. Do you believe that it was a similar thing that Delroy Chuck did in trying to woodwink the Jamaican people in order to basically do what you have said there, the way they govern, basically have no respect for the opposition and by extension the people of Jamaica?
Well, let me say this. In the ordinary course of things, the consultation about the political ombudsman would be between the opposition and the government. In my view, if you're going to disband the office, then you should have consultations between the opposition and the government, and this was not done. Now, one of the reasons that the Minister Chuck gave was that it would save money. And I only take issue with the numbers you have said, because he actually said it would save us $30 million if it was subsumed under the ECJ. Much to my surprise, the former political ombudsman, Honorable Donna Parchment, said that her office was only receiving $25 million. So you can't save 30 million when you're only spending 25.
Absolutely,
So
Senator.
Was something that the minister misrepresented to the people of Jamaica. And then he allocates $60 million for that position in a situation where the ECJ is already in existence, where it is the commissioners who are all paid, who would be presiding over these matters, and where the staff, there's an existing institution, so the staff would be pulled from the institution. So why would they then give a budget of 60 million? And why would you say that you are saving money when you are actually paying more than twice the amount that you were paying for a standalone office? Something does not make sense to me, Conrad. The different statements which I've heard from the minister make no sense when you put them together. And I've invited Jeffrey to look at all the reports and the news releases which have come from the minister and see how you could make sense of it. One of the things he said is that he did not know a political ombudsman was appointed. And that meant he did not remember his own legislation, because his legislation says that function is carried out by the commissioners themselves. So it's really strange. And I know, Conrad, that you are one of our greatest investigative journalists. This is something that I think you should focus on for sure.
Well, you know, Senator, I'll continue to look at these things, and I am in total agreement with you, and that is why I really pose the question that way. It was kind of long-winded, but however, I think it was important in order for me to basically juxtapose the two situations. In that, as you carefully pointed out, that the former political ombudsman, Donna Parchment Brown, so eloquently explained that the most she have ever gotten, as a matter of fact, she said that the figure that she got was under $25 million. So again, we must hold Delroy Chuck, and I'm going to say by extension, Prime Minister Holness and the entire cabinet, we must hold them accountable, because what they would have, Senator, is really woodwink. And one could say literally lied to the Jamaican people, because why would you say that you're going to save costs, or why the reason why you're subsuming the offices to save costs, and you're paying almost 3 times you have allocated this time, because it was on the 25, well, call it 2.5 times. Why?
Yes, it's a puzzle. It's a real mystery.
Do you believe?
Hold on for me, Conrad. I know Senator have to go because she's in a meeting. So I take her to a meeting.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that she can go back to the meeting. So hope before we go.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. BR, you have another question for Senator? Not hearing you.
She basically answered the questions that I had without me even asking. But I just want to say, it's a pleasure to have spoken to her, and I've asked a question and she answered them. Okay. And it's someone that I look up to in the Senate, and I really appreciate her.
A woman, Jeffrey, yes, no, and I hope I have the opportunity to talk to her again soon.
Indeed. But Senator, before you go, Conrad have one question, and Conrad, just get to the question and we can have her to go, because I want her to come
quickly. Senator.
I mean, I can't
Senator, in light of the Prime Minister's integrity or filing cannot be certified, among other things, do you believe that the Prime Minister is fit for purpose to be placed on the ballot going into the next general election?
Well, put it this way, in any other country, his own party would have asked him to step aside. I think that's the simplest and most straightforward response I give you. In any other country, his own party would have asked him to step aside. There is another country in which persons who have had their reputations tainted have run and have been victorious. But that is not the Westminster tradition. That is not the tradition that we have been brought up in. The tradition that we have embraced before independence is that when you are accused of any kind of conduct like that, you do the right and honorable thing and you step aside. And I always use as an example the way the Prime Minister dealt with Richard Azan.
Yes.
Richard Azan was not accused of any act of dishonesty. Richard Azan was accused of breaching the rules in order to provide some shops to make his constituents comfortable when they sold outside the market. And the Prime Minister said he would not sit in Parliament with him. The Prime Minister accused, he was then leader of opposition, he accused Prime Minister Portia Simpson of tolerating an act of corruption. He said until Azan resigned, he would not sit with him in the Parliament. So I am not holding him to anybody's standard except those that he has articulated. He said that.
Indeed.
So I answer the question, Conrad. If he said that about somebody who was not under that cloud and did not have his level of leadership, then he should do the right thing. But gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you, Lady DR. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Senator, and I know you have to, but one quick one before you go, please. Would you push for, if the People's National Party should gain state power, would you push for them to have an investigative journalist, have forensic audit in every government entity in this country?
I feel that where it is necessary, it should be done. I would not ask for it to be done with every entity because our focus has to be to govern and to govern well and responsibly. We have to mobilize the country to make sure that we rebuild our institutions and we return a sense of integrity to this country. We have to empower our people to be the best people they can be and to put on display the full potential of every Jamaican. That's what our mandate has to be.
Senator Donna Mottley, opposition spokesperson and justice attorney at law. Thank you for coming onto the program. And Senator,
thank you.
I hope I can have you next time to speak about the constitutional reform.
The constitutional reform, which is what I thought you wanted me to speak about.
Yes.
But good night to you and to your listeners. I promise I will come back to do so.
Okay. Thank you very much, Senator Donna.
Okay. All the best.
Okay, Donna. All the best. Bye-bye.
There you have it. One of Jamaica's finest senator of all time, Senator Donna Mottley, for coming on to speak to us. You know, I talked to her about the Constitution, and you know what happened to us? It led way into the young lady. And that is why we ended up asking her about Constitution at all.
But I want to say, Jeffrey, that I quite like the answer that Senator Scott Mottley was.
There you go. We couldn't see it at all. We couldn't see a black thing. We couldn't see it at all. Now we see it.
All right. So I was saying that I quite like the answer that she gave, the last answer there that she gave, because what she's saying is that the PNP will be laser focused in terms of moving Jamaica forward. However, to underpin, she also underpins something that is very important to say that wherever they see that it would lead for a forensic audit, they would not be averse to look at that. So that is basically saying that yes, we will be looking at these things where it is just so blatant and so on and so forth. However, they will be basically what you could say ride and whistle. They will be looking at moving, because Jeffrey, as you and I have been saying, there are just so much heavy lifting to be done at this time. And when you look at healthcare, when you look at our education system, when you look at the level of jobs that are being provided for our people, where we have working poor, poverty is worse now than it was in 2016. you know, so when you look at all of those things and put it together, you see the mammoth task that the PNP will have. You can also look at the agriculture sector. Recently, Dayton Campbell said on a political platform that only 35% of the agro parks are under cultivation. No, we have, these are things that we must attack head on. You know, the whole business of housing, as Professor Senator Floyd spoke about today on my radio program. You know, when he said that, listen, the majority of our people just cannot afford the housing that is being built. So the housing trust will have a job to perform. And I tell you something, Jeffrey, the PNP has come up with something very, very creative, where they're saying that, listen, the fact that the National Housing Trust have taken over, what would it be? Is it how many years? 90 billion out of the NHT, or close to $100 billion out of the NHT by way of budgetary support. So when you look at that, the PNP is proposing that, listen, in order to give the taxpayers of Jamaica, or the contributors of housing trust, a reprieve, they will be underwriting the cost of the land. That means you will not be paying for the cost of the land. So let's say you have a 2-bedroom house lay down on a plot of land. The plot of land is ordinarily, say, $3 million or 3.5, $4 million. What happened is that unit would now come into the market at $3 or $4 million less, because the cost of the land will be absorbed by the government. And I believe that indeed, Jeffrey, that's a game changer. And I think the PNP has basically stole a march there on the Labour Party, and they find them napping. Caught them napping, rather.
Another Brian, I want you to as we have BR on the thing here. You know, she's a young journalist coming up, a young blogger coming up. And when a lot of people listen to
you. Very dynamic one as well, because when I sorry Jeff, because when I pay attention to you, my dear, VR, I pay attention to you, and you know, I'm quite impressed. You do your thing, and your thing seems to be undergirded with a lot of research, and that is a very, very good trait that you're showing there.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Go ahead, Jeff.
What is going on in this country, Conor Brian? And you have a justice system in which Jamaican people don't respect. Senator Mottley said something earlier on. You hearing me?
Yeah, man, I'm listening, Jeff.
Yeah. Senator Scott Mottley said something earlier on. And I would agree with her, you know, that if a person is accused of something, alleged that he's accused of raping that young girl, we have no proof that he did it.
That is true.
Why should the police be judge or an executioner? And this has been going on in this country for many years, you know. Not because he may have done it before. Let me make something clear tonight. I am not saying that he did not do it, or am I saying that he did it? Because I wasn't there. We have in this country because this person had done this before, and them do it. So my question to you tonight, Conor Brian, do you think that the JCF, under the leadership of the Minister of National Insecurity and Injustice, well, the Minister of National Insecurity, and the Commissioner of Police, is it that they have direct? I shouldn't say they have directed, but is it that it seems as if that the police is going out there to be judge and executioner right now?
Well, Jeffrey, I'll say this to you off the cuff. Let me once again just express my gratitude for hardworking men and women dressed in blue, the police. I want to basically give them my utmost commendation. However, Jeffrey, I concur with you that we have seen extrajudicial killing by the police over and over. There's a case that is now going on with those young men out in East Kingston, and had it not been for the CC camera, we would be there saying that, wow, the police has basically did a good job when they executed those young men. So there are reasons for us, for us to ask questions. There are many reasons for us to ask questions, and that is why the whole argument of body-worn camera is so germane, because that would have basically solved a great part of the problem. So, and I will also say, Jeffrey, whether it is by way of boasts or whatever, but I can tell you that I, Conrad O'Brien, have received or have gotten information from serving police officers saying that, listen, they have a mandate to go out and take out persons who are the troublemakers in the society. Police officers said that to me. As I said before, I don't know if the police will tell me, telling Lion himself, or just being boastful, but that communique have been shared with yours truly.
So, Conrad O'Brien, what you're saying tonight, then, that the police said that they must go there and take out troublemakers?
I am saying to you, Jeffrey, that I have no way of verifying it, but I'm saying that that is information coming to me that it says that it is a directive that is given to particular officers to basically carry out such a mandate. Again, I can't verify, but I'll say to you that this information has been communicated to me by officers of rank, and also and when I say rank, meaning gazetted officer, and also by officers who are at the rank and file level.
I want to take some calls. The number to call is 954-529-8030. That's the number running across the screen there. 954-529-8030. Take your calls. What do you think of what is going on in Jamaica? A 9-year-old is murdered in this country, brutally raped and murdered. It seems as if you know.
And also, Jeffrey, as we talk.
Sorry, when Senator was on, I wanted to say to her, the former Prime Minister and former leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Bruce Golding, once said it seems like termite eating up the brain. I want to say to her, it seems like termite eating up Delaware brain.
Boy, I tell you. But you Jeffrey, because I find you basically just interwoven that into the discussion, you know, to be very, very classical, because indeed you're using the words of the Jamaica Labour Party to really describe scenarios that you think are now going on with them.
I have a call coming in. Hold on for me. Good night. Welcome to the Microtalk program. Your life.
Good night, Mr. O'Brien. Good night.
Blessings.
Good night.
Good night, Miss B.
Yeah, man. Me one of your follower. You know, me sit down here, Jeffrey, I made that class. Me want to call him when the minister ended about me not get. However,
she's not a minister.
when you're looking at...
Hold on for me.
Yeah.
She's not a minister. She's a spokesperson and justice.
Yeah, but we
know what you mean. We know what you mean, Jeffrey. We know what you mean.
You know, I mean, Mr. O'Brien today. I mean, right now, there, I'm listening to everybody. But it just come to me one conclusion. I mean, it's a beg the Jamaican people to go go vote whenever time they can. And that's the only solution to this problem.
You know, caller.
Saying the person is gonna be perfect like a butter from bread. But this Jamaica led party led by Andrew Willis is the epitome of cruelty. It's slavery, mentally, physically, verbally, and everybody you can think about. Every alley. No, the Minister of Justice. Remember, you know, you're Minister of Justice, you know, you're Iraqi individual to the island, you know. And you are going to tell me, sir, the ombudsman is there, but you don't know who is the person. Are you telling me that Duppy?
Oh my God.
Are you telling me that a person is getting $60 million per year, month, or whichever, I don't know? Are you as the Minister of Justice cannot say, is Mary Jane or Tom Jones? No, what can go so?
Hold on for me, Miss B. It was alleged that his daughter was the one who was acting, but there was no proof to that. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
no. Marky G, you're for with Prime Minister, you know. And I remember Marky G. One, you have 3 things to do when you come Prime Minister. And after if you do that, we have to go son you in the parliament. Remember me tell you.
You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
You need to investigate these people and call them out for what it is. You need to lock them up. And not only lock them up, seize them asset to take away. And set an example. Okay, guys?
All right.
That is it. A Marlon Morgan again. When them put you as senator, you can't see the parliament turn Coronation Market. Right now, Coronation Market are run better than the Jamaican parliament.
Thank you.
You know, Jeffrey, I was trying to make a quick invocation there. Just now. Okay.
Yes, caller, welcome. Hello? Yes, Conrad, go ahead.
Yeah, man. You know, today when the whole discussion came up on my program about voting, you know, it was remiss of me. I had it in my brief to mention that you, Jeffrey Tavares, you have been collating some videos there, I think, with various voices, you know, to put, I don't know if you have actually started, Jeffrey, but to put together to make that plea for the Jamaican people to participate in the democracy. I think I may have sent you a clip already, and it's something that, Jeffrey, I want to applaud you, because indeed we must find every way to encourage our citizens to participate in the democracy. We can't continue with this very, very low turnout and people just opting out of the process and so on. No, and I want to underpin it by saying, Jeffrey, it must not just be the 5-year cycle that people participate. Once you vote, it's over. You must actively be a part of the democratic process, ask questions, put things out there, and use the various channels to get information. Information, rather.
Conrad.
Yes.
When you're a journalist in Jamaica and you have your program going on for many years, and you see the level of lies that is being spewed on the airways in our country. What is your take on that?
And the what? Go ahead. Go again. Sorry.
The lies that is being spewed. The lies. People lying about things. What's your take on that?
Well, certainly, Jeffrey, I also look at it as a credibility issue. And, you know, seeing that, listen, for political expediency, you have a lot of people who throw or prepare to task their integrity and their credibility through the window, probably not remembering that when politics is over and done and you are left, you're in a lonely room by yourself, it is you and your conscience, and the only thing that you take to the grave is your integrity, you know? Your integrity, that goes with you to the grave. And, you know, I wish that we would see more and more people from all walks of life, basically, you know, look at the whole business of credibility and integrity in a much, much more serious way. Because, Jeffrey, I dare say, the reason why a number of politicians are allowed to get a pass is because too many of us actually probably wishing and hoping that, listen, I wish I had gotten that blind and get this favor and get that and so on. So we don't see, a lot of us don't see anything wrong with it, because people are there lining up for their turn to say, listen, I am hoping that I will get my turn to do this or to do that. So once you have people who are looking at things that way and not looking at.
Go ahead, Connor. Finish up. One more caller. Go finish up.
I'm not looking at how we build the fabric of the Jamaican society. Then we are going to be in trouble, Jeffrey, because we have to move away from just being blinded and look at the truth and where the truth leads us. That's where we should go.
Yes. Caller, welcome to the program. You're live. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from over in New Mexico, Jeffrey.
Yes, go ahead. Welcome to the program.
Nice. We know that practice makes perfect, right? So I strongly believe that Mr. Holness, this is something he was practicing from a child and he never get enough correction. So the stealing and the lying goes together. And when you see people behaving like that, I hear Connor talking about integrity, and this is not something that is synonymous with Andrew Holness. And when we talk about the lying, I don't know why it seems to me that it's a signature of the Jamaica Labour Party, because Marlon Morgan, the Justice Minister, our Prime Minister, those are some of the largest barefaced people I've ever seen. And I think they think that Jamaicans are idiots. I really think that they think that Jamaicans are idiots.
Well, there you hit the nail on the head. There you hit the nail on the head. And that's one of the reasons why the Jamaican people are so disgusted, because the Jamaican people believe that they are being treated as if, the Jamaican people believe that we are being treated as idiots, because you can't come with a straight face and say some of the things that these people are saying and expect us to take you serious if you didn't believe that you're taking us for a ride and for a bunch of buffoons.
That's what the Prime Minister is doing, and he's step up on himself.
Caller, let me ask you a question, caller. With this 9-year-old being brutally raped and murdered in this country, your take on that? Another one, how long will it continue before something is being done? And until now, the sex cannot be made public. Your take on that?
Well, we need the sex offenders register to be made public. And the People's National Party, as other civic voices, need to be calling for that. And one of the reasons I believe that Delroy Chuck says is not releasing it is because it will implicate too many of them. And it's true. It will implicate too many of them. And Jamaica cannot continue to run like that. We cannot continue to sit down and allow these people. Delroy Chuck, as a matter of fact, he has outdone his youthfulness. He needs to go. Because I don't know if his head gathering water or ants living in his brain or something, but he's being right now. And he needs to go.
Paul and Jeffrey, the outside of the 9-year-old today.
Caller, hold on for me. Yes, Connor, go ahead.
Caller and Jeffrey, outside of the 9-year-old today, Jeffrey, let us continue to remind the viewers and listeners that we aired a very, very chilling story today as well, with a 4-year-old boy, where his mother weighed in that he's unable to get a surgery done without coming up with $1 million. And, you know, it is out there where she's seeking some funds to basically assist in getting that done. So we continue to repeat that. I know you had her earlier, Jeffrey, but it's important that we mention the number of ills that are taking place in our country, because how could it be a 4-year-old mother has to be struggling? She don't have the money and she has to be out there cap in hand begging for it to be done. Not look good.
All those monies, Mr. Jeffrey and Mr. Conrad, that the government ministers are stealing and are misappropriating, those are monies that they could use to help people in positions like those. These are situations that the government needs to take over.
But I tell you
That's how you know they're not really serving the people.
I'll tell you something, you know, that will never happen, you know, and that is why we on this program here has to do something. I've already pinned the GoFundMe in the chat room there. We on this program have to do something to assist this young lady. I'm using a different computer tonight, so I can't get the picture up that I want to show of this handsome.
And also, the important point again, another important point in all of this, because of the situation with the baby boy, the mother can't work, so she's again out of pocket in that regard. You see what? Then say punkas panta pa punkas or something like that. Punkas pa punkas. That's how it goes.
Well, if the public has to pitch in, fine, and that we will do gladly. But Andrew Holness and his government needs to have some heart for the Jamaican people. There are a wicked set of things that need to be voted out forthwith. He needs to call the election and he needs to get out of office because he's a liar, pathological liar, and he's also very dishonest. And we are disappointed in that boy.
Oh my goodness, boy!
He's not a man.
Hey,
blessing for you guys. Good.
Respect, man. All right, we over in the other place. Always good to have you. Good.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Wrap up on the progress now. 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're not going to go to 12 o'clock. We're going to 9.
No, I want to go sleep myself. So let's wrap.
I don't want to get the wrap up signal from my wife, so I have to get a couple of now.
Yeah.
Conrad, I want you to wrap up with your final speech to the Jamaican people and basically what you think of what is going on in this country. And is Jamaica thinking about this? They're thinking about parties. You're taking.
All right. The truth is that we saw a lot of things, from the whole business of constitutional breaches by way of signing of undated letters and all of that. However, I think we have reached an all-time low when we saw our head of government, the executive, basically, you know, can't have his statutory deduction, statutory integrity filing certified by the body that is so set up to do so in this country, and to basically make things matters even worse. We saw where the Prime Minister had gone to the court to ask them to struck down the fundamental underpinning of this act, which is that of illicit enrichment. So when you look at those things, we also look at the, as we said before, can't overemphasize the whole business of health care. You know, the fact that poverty is on the rise, the fact that we are seeing the education sector, rather than growing, rather than improving, we're seeing a decline in it. So all in all, Jeffrey, there's so many things that is happening. We're also seeing where, even though we're boasting about a reduction in crime, we're still seeing high numbers of murders. Just last week in Manchester alone, there was about 4 or 5 persons murdered there. So, you know, while we talk about the reduction and we're happy for whatever reduction may come, but crime is still on the loose here in Jamaica, and that is why and the health system is in crisis, and that is why we saw just last week when persons were hoping even after the visit of the the U.S. Secretary of State, Rubio came to Jamaica and had that discussion. And, you know, the government even were chomping at the bit, you know, to say that, listen, they are going to get a reprieve there. We saw just last week where the United States have reissued a travel advice, and Jamaica is still at the at a tier 3. So nothing has improved in terms of the international eyes and people who are looking at Jamaica.
Under the brand, they're speaking to us. And my final take on everything on tonight we speak about is that we're going to continue speaking truth to justice. We're going to continue speaking truth to power, because without we speaking up and talking for this nation, who will? This is where I want to say so long for tonight. I want you all to come back on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk program. Continue pushing the Make We Talk program far and wide. Join me tomorrow for a simulcast broadcast on the Make We Talk program with Conrad O'Brien. Conrad, who's the guest tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll have I don't get the name of the guest, but certainly we're talking to somebody from the Joan Duncan Foundation. And of course, you know that Joan Duncan, she is the founder of the JMMB, which is now a massive group. So I was told by my producer today that we'll be having someone from the Joan Duncan Foundation. And then tomorrow is a Tuesday, Jeffrey. So what we'll be doing, we'll be giving our callers pride of place. So we're hoping to take a lot of calls tomorrow. And the reason for this, Jeffrey, it is we are now going into the election. We are spot on. We're dead on in our election campaign, and we want to hear as much as we can from the people what is happening in their community, what they think, and even to give suggestion of what they believe that our incoming government should be looking at to move the Jamaican space further along the trajectory in a better way.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you very much. I want to say thanks to Senator Donna Scott Mottley, Opposition Spokesperson and Justice Conrad O'Brien, host, and my good friend ABR TV. She is a blogger on social media, and believe you me, she's doing a great job. Go over there and like, share, and subscribe over there too. I want to say thanks to the producers of this program, thanks to the moderators in the chat room, Walking in Divine Purpose, and also Gigi, who continue making sure that people behave themselves in the chat room. Thank you all very much for making this program tonight, the Make We Talk Point of View program, once more of success. Thank you all very much. May God bless you. May God bless our island's home, Jamaica land we love. Have a good night, Conrad O'Brien. Have a good night, everyone.
All the best, all the best. Blessing.
Entire diaspora, as long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk, and we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk, make we talk. Unity is strength, make we reason, make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.